Chun Sansi gripped the long spear tightly. The sharp gun blade slowly tore open the opponent's throat. Blood gushed out along the wound. What next? Chao Xie did not resist, only suddenly said, "After you kill me, what do you plan to do?" "That's none of your concern." Ignoring him, Chun Sansi stepped forward, thrust the spear through the opponent's throat, then twisted vigorously, grinding the flesh and bones to pulp, before pulling it out forcefully. Thud! The body of heavenly killing true monarch fell into the mud along with the green blade, stirring up a splash of filth. A glimmer of spirit light rose from the corpse, transformed into a baby upon landing, which was the last emergence of the nascent soul. Alas, under the restriction of all laws forbidden, even a cultivator's nascent soul possesses no divine skills. "You know nothing." The little figure of Chao Xie pointed at Tian Wu, shouting angrily, "Do you know what is hidden within the eastern continent?" Chun Sansi pointed the gun tip at him. "Then speak and I shall listen." "Let me go." Chao Xie's nascent soul solemnly said, "Release me from here, and I will tell you all the secrets. No need to say anything." Chun Sansi refused to waste words with him, sending the long Dan bright silver spear whistling out, piercing the nascent soul right through. "Ha!" The nascent soul clutched the gun shaft tightly, its little face bloodied. "Chun lay on your own. You can't defeat those people. We can cooperate." Bang! Chun Sansi didn't answer, only pinned it dead against the rocks. "Ha ha ha, cough cough cough." The nascent soul rallied for a final laugh of intense resentment. "To think I, Chao Xie, mastered 100 arts, only to die like this." He had risen from a mere servant to the position of heavenly killing true monarch today. But all of it means nothing, it's all for naught. With the gun blade stirring, this Shang great ancestor, who had crossed 400 years, the heavenly killing true monarch, his pulse ceased beating. The moment he confirmed the opponent's death, Chun Sansi could no longer stand, collapsed to the ground like a broken doll. His vision began to darken. His mortal body had reached its limit, only a line from death. Fortunately at this moment, the restrictive laws of all laws forbidden began to collapse. Chun Sansi's cultivation gradually recovered, grounding himself to recuperate, catching his breath. He stood up, painstakingly pulled down the bright silver spear, then picked up the dragon abyss sword, decapitating both Chao Xie's body and soul, gathering all remnants into a storage bag. Sealing spirit array? From the collection, Chun Sansi found a set of formation and a few spiritual pearls. These things should have been obtained by Rong Rojuan from Luoshao Immortal Palace before they ended up with Chao Xie. Suggests they had met prior. During his journey to the Immortal Palace, although he acquired the crafting method of the destructive spirit array, he didn't obtain spiritual pearls. This now counts as a surprise gain. The Ancestor Vein's revival is accelerating. Withdrawing all laws forbidden, clearly felt on Mang Mountain, a trace of spiritual power was contained. Must act immediately, to avoid long delays with unforeseen consequences. Chun Sansi formed seals with his hands, chanting, finally shouting, "Arise!" The spiritual pearls soared into the sky, suspended above the clouds over Mang Mountain. The layers of the sealing spirit array unfolded, enveloping the entire mountain range. Golden rays like axes cleaved the mountain ridges. In no time the earth shook, the peaks caved in, between heaven and earth's thin spiritual energy, as if drawn buoyantly toward the sky. Even the surging lava spurted out along the cracking earth. Deep underground came a loud phoenix cry. Momentarily after, from the lava flood rushed out a charismatic 1,000-foot winged red flame phoenix, directly toward the 9 heavens to wreak havoc. This phoenix, as its wings swung, even rocks transformed into glazed at high temperature. As its eyes opened, a sea of fire blazed across the clouds for 1,000 miles, about to incinerate the aerial sealing spirit array into ashes. This spirit of the Ancestor Vein undoubtedly surpassed the spirit of Guiyuan sect in power. Upon provocation, it actually counterattacked actively. The sealing spirit pearl exploded into 108 fragments of star meteor, embedded in the sky by the arrangement of heavenly spirits and earthly fiends. Forming a three-dimensional talisman formation covering the heavens, chains emerged from every star position, first wrapping the phoenix's neck tightly, then piercing through its wings, securing it firmly. Chirp! The phoenix emitted a piercing, mournful cry, struggled bitterly in the air, but was all for naught. Star constellation runes from the sealing spirit pearl started materializing, bombarded the true spirit phoenix like a storm. Each falling rune observed by naked eye diminished the phoenix's size slightly. When all 108 runes descended, the true spirit phoenix reduced from sky-covering vastness to only palm-sized, merged completely with star runes, transforming into a spiritual pearl, plummeting toward the ground. Simultaneously, all celestial anomalies dissipated. Chun Sansi reached out, grabbing the spiritual pearl, feeling its contained spiritual energy, seemed to be second tier and top grade. In past years at the ends of the earth, the master used the destructive spirit array to seal the ancestor vein, merely first rank. But using the sealing spirit array had refined the spirit vein into a second-tier spirit vein. Need to know, this still happened in the situation as the ancestor vein hadn't revived enough. This spiritual pearl, rightly usable to upgrade the spirit vein of Skywall City. Chun Sansi thought to himself, transformed into a light of escape, flew to a mountain peak 100 miles away. What he saw were corpses stretching across the mountains and fields. These are the soldiers responsible for guarding Mang Mountain. The celestial phenomena completely dissipated, revealing the sunset hidden behind the clouds, dyeing the endless hills of corpses a dark ochre. Looking around, broken halberds and spears pierced through the earth like thorns, with a banner emblazoned with the words, Hongza, half buried in the bloody mud. Beneath the banner, an old white-haired general stood leaning on his sword. His armor was shattered, exposing deep wounds that reached the bone. His silver hair was clotted with blood, and his pupils, wide open like copper bells, stared straight ahead, exuding killing intent that shook one's spirit. But he had long lost his breath. Chun Sansi examined the wounds and could tell they resulted from a spell. The one surnamed Chao gave this old general an intact corpse. He closed his eyes, took a deep breath, his nostrils filled with the smell of blood. Such a thing absolutely cannot happen a second time. Chun Sansi took out the heaven-mending talisman, pinched a seal with his right hand, and injected a bit of spiritual power into it. The talisman transformed into a golden light, soared into the sky, and completely repaired the heaven and earth seal of the eastern continent. Above the heavenly dome, a fluctuation of spiritual power was sensed. Chun Sansi looked closely and found it was the carriage of the great Han's imperial family. As the carriage arrived above Mang Mountain, one fairy after another flew out from it, headed straight for the mountain peak. Father! It was Chun Yunshi and several princesses who hurriedly came upon learning about the incident at Mang Mountain, leading the female cultivators from the harem from Chang'an City. Father, father, why are you covered in blood? Chun Yunshi hurriedly came forward to check Emperor Tianwu's injuries. Su Yunhuan, meanwhile, was searching through the storage bag for a spirit plant to heal the injuries. Chun Yunmei silently drew her sword and cautiously watched the surroundings. No worries. They are just superficial wounds. Chun Sansi said in a solemn voice. Yunshi, you shouldn't have come. How is Chang'an over there? How is the Empress and others? Upon receiving the reply that all was well, he let out a sigh of relief. Chao Xie's sky-covering array had a fixed scope and could not leave Mang Mountain, while Chang'an still had substantial defensive power, so generally, no mishap would occur. Crash! In the midst of their conversation, the female cultivators from the harem cast their spell, and laid a road with rocks for the great Han soldiers who were trapped at the foot of the mountain to ascend. Soon, a large number of soldiers gathered. Old Li, Jia Su's eyes swept across the muddy land full of corpses, finding the body of the old general. Foolish! He sighed inwardly. This old fellow, why did he insist on rushing to his death? For what purpose? Who will remember? Your Majesty! The main general knelt heavily on the ground. This humble servant is incompetent, resulting in the fall of Mang Mountain. I request your majesty to punish. Rise, it's not your fault. Chun Sansi would not expect these mortal soldiers to stop the incursion of nascent soul cultivators. Thank you for your majesty's grace. The main general's face was full of guilt. This humble servant is incompetent, so many brothers, in the end, still relying on your majesty to kill the enemies. Enough! Chun Sansi gestured for him not to speak further, glanced at the standing dead corpse. His voice became a few tones lower. Transport General Li Qing's body and the others back to the outskirts of Chang'an City for burial, and inscribe the names of the soldiers who sacrificed at Mang Mountain on the heroic soul steel. Not one to be missed. Yes, your majesty. The main general immediately proceeded with the arrangements. Among the crowd, Jia Su's heart trembled, suddenly understanding why the brothers from Hengze camp insisted on rushing to their deaths. Li Qing. That was Old Man Li's name. Your majesty knew every one of them. Beiyang Road, outside Daisfang City. Shinjunzuo stood beside the ancient transmission array, anxiously casting spells repeatedly. Don't bother. Wang Shouzhua sighed. Unless we have the jade seal, otherwise, if we forcefully cross, we will immediately perish. And so much time has passed. I'm afraid that the young man surnamed Chun is already dead. This is a big problem. Master Lianhua said, don't forget that the Emperor's breath soil is also involved. I'm afraid Chao Xie will break through to divinity transformation within 20 years. With another 1,000 years of development, the powers of divine continent may not be inferior to any of our three heavens sect. By then, trying to reclaim divine continent will be almost impossible. Master Wang, Shinjunzuo angrily said, don't you have anything to say? This matter has ties with your heavenly sword sect. You're talking nonsense again. Wang Shouzhua argued. Though I am Chao Xie's senior brother, there's no way I can see through his thoughts, right? Who could have guessed he would suddenly go mad? And what about Rong Rojuan? Shinjunzuo interrogated. In the Luoshao Immortal Palace, many people saw firsthand that Rong Rojuan conspired with demons and monsters to seize the chance to kill Chun Lei. One elder might be a coincidence, but your heavenly sword sect has 2 elders involved. Can you honestly say this wasn't deliberate? My junior sister has always admired Brother Chao Xie, so doing something like this was unsurprising. Wang Shouzhua explained. I've already sent someone to find Rong Rojuan. Once she's found, Sister Ye will be sent to Kunlun, leaving her to be dealt with by you from Kungsu. Speaking of the Luoshao Immortal Palace, Fairy Lianhua knitted her brows. There's also an intriguing matter. A junior called Jiang Xie from Qingshu sect suddenly exhibited a realm surge to late-stage nascent soul before everyone's eyes, injuring several people successively. Even your Saint Heir Mu Qingming couldn't escape. It is said she was possessed by the sword demon sealed in the sword cave. But how did Chun Lei manage to survive? I've heard about this matter too. Wang Shouzhua stroked his beard. Before coming here, I specifically reviewed ancient texts. The sword demon incident in Sword Heart Valley seems to be true. But this incident occurring with Qingshu sect is indeed strange. Everyone shouldn't forget that there were rumors years ago that Lord Taishan and the Kunlun Saintess had a daughter. If this Jiang Xie is Mu Chutai's daughter, then could it be? It's certainly an eventful time. Shinjunzuo grew increasingly agitated. Qingshu sect can't escape. As this matter has already been verified, the urgent task is to figure out how to pull Chao Xie out of the seal. While speaking, Master Lianhua suddenly glanced towards the transmission array. Be careful, someone is coming out. She had barely finished speaking when the transmission array surged dramatically. Chao Xie dares to come out? Shinjunzuo summoned his life-bound spiritual treasure. The other 2 also prepared themselves vigilantly. Buzz! Accompanied by a dazzling spirit light flashing, a figure appeared on the transmission array. However, the person who arrived wasn't wearing the imagined green robe but a striking, black and gold dragon robe. Emperor Tianwu Chun Sansi, clad in a brand new dragon robe, dropped 2 heads at their feet and declared, The demon cultivator Chao Xie has been personally slain by me. Chao Xie is dead. What? The sudden change left the three great cultivators stunned on the spot, unable to recover for a long time. Only after several breaths, Shin Junzuo's pupils shone with golden light, scrutinizing the heads below. One is Chao Xie's physical body. One is Chao Xie's nascent soul. It's true. Wang Shoujua's face twitched violently, his pupils trembling incessantly. Junior brother, how did you accomplish this? Master Lianhua couldn't help but ask. Within Eastern Continent, no one is my match. Chen Sansi said thus. So far, no one knows about his ability to invoke the all-laws forbidden layer, and he wouldn't be foolish enough to reveal it all. Half-truths might scare these people, though over time it will surely be exposed, but at least in the short term, these people won't dare covet the Eastern Continent again. Additionally, Chen Sansi added, if I remember correctly, there are still some from the Chao family hiding in Skywater Continent. I hope your sect could help me find them to prevent future troubles. Of course, Shin Junzuo replied. Chao Xie fell into the demon path. His descendants cannot escape punishment. The court has matters to address. Farewell. With these words, Chen Sansi intended to return to Great Han through the transmission array. Wait! Wang Shoujua stepped forward, asking, where is Qingshu sect's Jiang Xie now appearing? Outside Yufeng Mountain. Someone saw with their own eyes that it was Taoist Tian Wu who took her away. She ran. Chen Sansi answered indifferently. In fact, after dealing with Chao Xie, he had secretly sent someone to bring his senior sister to Eastern Continent. Ran away? Shin Junzuo frowned. Taoist, are you joking? I originally intended to keep her under control, to slowly study the sword demon within her, to see if I could make it my own. Chen Sansi said, but the thing inside her was too strong, and I couldn't suppress it. I could only give up and let her go. Hee. Wang Shoujua said with a forced smile. The matter of the sword demon could easily become catastrophic. Please consider your answer carefully, Taoist Tian Wu. Do you not believe what I say? Chen Sansi swept his gaze over the few people, calmly saying, if you don't believe me, you're free to follow me into the Eastern Continent and search as you wish. I absolutely will not obstruct. Enter Eastern Continent? The few of them looked at Tian Wu, then at Chao Xie's head, but no one dared to step forward. Since it's come to this, we have no reason not to believe Taoist Tian Wu. Shin Junzuo took Chao Xie's two heads in his hands. In the matter of slaying Chao Xie, I thank Taoist on behalf of Kungsu. No need for thanks, as I'm not doing it for you. Whoever offends the Great Han will be executed, no matter how far away they are. It's the same for anyone. Chen Sansi subtly hinted at the Three Heavens sect, then waved his sleeve and left, once again disappearing into the spirit light of the transmission array. Everyone watched the transmission array he left behind, remaining silent for a long time. In the end, it was Master Lianhua who broke the silence. He actually killed Chao Xie. To know, the three of them, late-stage nascent soul great cultivators, couldn't keep Chao Xie, while Tian Wu was merely at the early stage of core formation. Shin Junzuo squinted his eyes. Either he has something hidden, or there are secrets in Eastern Continent that we do not know. This man cannot be left unchecked. Wang Shoujua said gravely, he has great talent and opportunities. The longer we delay, the harder it will be to deal with in the future. Not now. Shin Junzuo rejected. The demons and devils are amassed at the borders, and we need the praying sky pearl for protection. Besides, my master already gave his word, which he never breaks. All right. Wang Shoujua's face darkened, changing the subject. Even if we can't deal with him for now, we must first clarify the matter of Jiang Xie. If she's not possessed by the sword demon, then we all understand what that means. That can be done. Shin Junzuo said, if we can't investigate Eastern Continent, can we not investigate Qingshu sect? I will personally go ask Zhang Qingyun soon. Master Wang, please don't forget to apprehend Rong Rojuan. No problem. Wang Shoujua readily agreed. As soon as I have news, I will immediately inform Taoist Chen. Then I'll, Master Lianhua said, call Chen Lei and take people to clear the Chao family's bloodline. After finishing their discussion, they all went their separate ways. In the blink of an eye, only Wang Shouzhua remained in place. The old Taoist looked at the ground, at the bloodstains left by Chao Xie's head, closed his eyes and sighed, "Come out!" In the nearby forest, a graceful figure quietly appeared. Upon closer inspection, it was the only female elder of the Heavenly Sword sect. Rong Rojuan staggered as she walked, her expression numb, her eyes vacant, as if she had lost her 3 souls and 7 spirits, reduced to a walking corpse. Condolences. Wang Shouzhua's hoarse voice was filled with sorrow. I never thought junior brother would lose to Chen Lei. According to the original plan, the Heavenly Sword sect had turned a blind eye to the matter of Chao Xie. If Chao Xie had truly accomplished great things, he might hold some grateful sentiment towards the Heavenly Sword sect in the future, benefiting the sect with no harm. Wang Shouzhua, out of personal motives, was even more willing to lend junior brother a hand. Therefore, he had used his avatar to lure Chen Sansi to another hidden transmission array. But the result? Blame me, huh? Wang Shouzhua smiled bitterly, shaking his head. Had I known this would be the result, I should have persuaded him back then. Rong Rojuan knelt by the bloodstains, her fingers digging into the mud, her hair rising without wind, lifting the blood-stained soil, tears flowing down her cheeks. I will avenge junior brother sooner or later. Wang Shouzhua comforted. Junior sister, the dead are gone. You shouldn't grieve too much. For us cultivators, even if we cannot achieve supreme forgetting emotions, we must not become obsessed. Junior brother Chao suffered greatly in this regard. Rong Rojuan seemed deaf to his words, holding the blood-soaked earth to her chest, her expression changing from sorrow to extreme hatred. Rest assured, junior brother, I swear a great oath to the heavenly Tao here. If I can't kill Chen Lei and avenge you, I, Rong Rojuan, would rather perish and never reincarnate. Wang Shouzhua looked helpless. Leave from now on. Do not return to the Heavenly Sword sect. If you fall into Kungsu's hands one day, you should know what to do. Don't worry, senior brother. Rong Rojuan slowly stood up. I will temporarily hide in the demon realm, ensuring I don't implicate the sect. You're going to chaotic wilderness Yongzhou? Wang Shouzhua reminded. How you protect yourself, senior brother won't interfere. But let me say this up front. No matter what, you bear the legacy of the Heavenly Sword and must not fall into the demon path. Slaughter the innocent, otherwise, don't blame senior brother for cleansing the sect. I understand. Rong Rojuan finally calmed down, and with a low voice said, Besides that, does senior brother need me to do anything? Zhang Huiqing from Qingshu sect has been acting suspiciously these years. It might be a good opportunity to eliminate him, to prevent future trouble. You are probably no match for him. Wang Shouzhua shook his head and said, This man likely harbors secrets, much like Chen Lei. He will be a big trouble in the future. We must find a way to deal with him. Go now, and if needed, I will find a way to contact you. Rong Rojuan disappeared from where she stood. Skywater Continent, Chongda Road, Xiangfeng Mountain. The Xie family is undoubtedly the foremost cultivation family here, long revered by surrounding families and even small sects. Today, however, they are besieged by a swarm of sword immortals. Not long ago, Chao Xie relocated all his descendants from the capital city to be hidden within the Xie family's territory. Yet, only half a month later, Purple Sun Palace, along with the Han Dynasty court, found and wiped them out. Xie Yun. Master Lianhua looked down at a core formation cultivator on the ground. Close the mountain protection array and hand over the remnants of the Chao family. I might then consider sparing your Xie family's root bone, leaving your clan alive. Otherwise, when the formation breaks, none shall remain. May I ask Elder Lianhua? Xie Yun glared angrily. What crime did Elder Chao commit that even his bloodline must be implicated? Chao Xie fell into the demon path, seeking to establish a demonic dynasty. Master Lianhua narrowed her eyes. Is that not enough? Nonsense. Xie Yun retorted. Elder Chao spent his life slaying demons. How could he fall into the demon sect? You just fear Elder Chao replacing the Three Heavens sect, fabricating excuses. Without Elder Chao, there would be no Xie family on Xiangfeng Mountain. Today, even if it means death, I, Xie Yun, will not retreat a single step. Very well, then you shall die. Master Lianhua's tone was cold as she waved her hand gently, and the disciples of Purple Sun Palace began to form an array to assault the mountain. The mountain protection array here, though set by Chao Xie in his lifetime, could not exert its true power without a nascent soul cultivator to guard it. After 5 days of defense, a breach tore open. Master Lianhua went inside, casually casting a spell to strike down the family head of the Xie family. Then the disciples of Purple Sun Palace and immortal officials of Skywall City surged in, launching a bloody massacre. The Xie family's clan members and the remnants of the Chao family fled in panic. In the wilderness, Chao Ji, controlling the dragon puppet, tore a Purple Sun Palace disciple in half and attempted to flee. But as soon as he lifted his leg, he saw a figure suddenly appear before him, sending a chill through his heart. We meet again, Prince Yen. Chun Sansi greeted, neither warm nor cold, approaching slowly. Indeed, big brother. Chao Xie swallowed. It's been a long time. Chun Sansi asked, will you do it yourself, or shall I help you? Big brother. Must it be this way? Chao Ji showed a bitter smile. We were sworn brothers after all. Chun Sansi said indifferently, I never acknowledged that. We have no grievances. Chao Ji spoke rapidly. Have you forgotten, during the former dynasty, I often spoke for you before the courtiers? No grievances? I say, Chao Ji. Chun Sansi said in a deep voice. You pursued me multiple times on Si Shui Road? Have you forgotten? That was the ancestors' order. I couldn't disobey. Chao Ji said with a pale face. Big brother, I admit I've always had a utilitarian view of you, but my admiration is genuine. Do we really have to come to this? I can swear never to retaliate, even sign a blood covenant and serve you. Chun Sansi remained silent, only drawing out the dragon abyss sword. Then how about this? Chao Ji, speaking urgently, I'll sever my root bone, all right? Becoming immortal, even if I wish to retaliate, would be like an ant shaking a tree. You have nothing to worry about. Chao Ji. Chun Sansi spoke sternly. It's time to end this. Decades have passed. The feud between me, Chun Sansi, and your Chao family should be settled. Chao Ji finally despaired, stepping back 2 steps and, covering his face, let out a mad laugh, just like Chao Xie before he died. Finally, he drew out the spine-bone sword. Then bring it on. Before his words finished, the dragon puppet by his side launched an attack. However, times have changed, and the dragon puppet was no longer a match for Chun Sansi, being completely suppressed in just a few moves. The dragon abyss sword flashed, severing Chao Ji's head. Thus, the Chao imperial family ceased to exist in this world. Chun Sansi sheathed his sword and turned to leave. He returned within the eastern continent, arrived at Luofeng Slope, and placed Huang Laojiu's head before his senior brother's gravestone, honoring his spirit in heaven. Over 30 years have passed. Chun Sansi poured a bottle of wine on the ground. It's been quite a while, brother. Don't blame me for being useless. Time flies in the blink of an eye. By the way, old Su has gone to accompany you. This old scholar actually carried the art of divination of the heavenly mechanism on him. As the sun set in the west, he muttered before the grave until nightfall, then set off for Chang'an. Days later, he personally conducted a state funeral for Su Wenkai. Zhao Kong and a group of old generals also returned by edict, sending off the old scholar on his final journey. Among the crowd, Chun Sansi looked at the graying temples of the many Piyang brothers, feeling momentarily bewildered. After a long time, he returned to his senses and instructed. Next, I will stay in the court for a period to recuperate. The situation in Sky Water Continent, I ask you all, dear ministers, to watch over. Report any anomalies directly to me. After giving the orders, Chun Sansi, amidst ongoing battles between the righteous and demonic, and with many matters yet to be resolved, unexpectedly returned to the harem, spending several days with the empress and noble consort. Senior sister. During the family banquet, although he was amiable just moments ago, Chun Sansi suddenly put down his cup, looked at Sun Li, who was discussing how to make pastries the next day with her daughter, and solemnly said, "Stop doing these meaningless things every day and continue your cultivation. Strive to break through to the martial saint within 2 years." Sun Li was taken aback. I said, "I hope you continue to cultivate." Chun Sansi repeated coldly. "Junior brother." Sun Li replied, "My talent is limited. Breaking through to the martial saint realm is almost impossible." I said, "Cultivate, you cultivate." Chun Sansi raised his voice abruptly. At the dining table, Gu Xinlan, several daughters, and a few disciples were all startled. The whole palace hall became silent. "Your Majesty?" Gu Xinlan hurriedly stood up, softly saying, "Li doesn't like martial arts, you know? This is an imperial edict." Chun Sansi emphasized, "From today, you must train for 6 hours a day. I will have someone watch over you." Sun Li, always valiant, found her eyes slightly reddening under Tian Wu's scolding. "You said that from now on, I wouldn't have to wield a blade." "You!" Chun Sansi faltered for a moment, then reprimanded, "How dare you argue with me?" "Sister." Seeing the situation deteriorate, Gu Xinlan quickly ran to Sun Li's side, pulling her up to pay respect. "I obey. I will help your Majesty watch over Li. And you, Chun Yunchuan." Chun Sansi looked at his youngest daughter. "Don't think being young lets you idle. Preparing for cultivation in advance is never wrong." It was Chun Yunchuan's first time seeing her father angry, and she burst into tears on the spot. "The same goes for you." Chun Sansi looked toward Yu Ji, Yu Lai, and others. "Negligence is absolutely unacceptable. If you have no important duties, you must train for 8 hours a day. In 2 years, I will assess you, and those unqualified will be expelled from the sect." Disciple obeys. Sukan and others, deeply fearful and cautious. After a round of scolding, Chun Sansi had no mood to continue the banquet, stood up and left, leaving everyone to look at each other in dismay. "What's wrong with Master?" "Yeah. He was fine moments ago. Why did he suddenly get upset when mentioning we've been apprenticed for over 30 years? Boundless Hall. Chun Sansi closed the entrance to the great hall and then sat cross-legged, calming his emotions. He took out his storage bag and counted the gains from this trip to the Luoshao Immortal Palace. First, various heavenly materials and earthly treasures obtained from the secret realm, which were sent to the Floral Medicine Palace for planting 2 days ago. In just a few decades, the Great Han Dynasty will be able to cultivate a batch of core formation cultivators. The second-tier spirit vein refined from the Mang Mountain Ancestor vein was also placed in Skywall City as a new spirit vein. Additionally, there were 2 nascent soul spiritual objects and the method to refine the sealing spirit array, which would save a lot of trouble in the future. Then there were the battle gains obtained through constant fighting. The sea-suppressing ring and these magical treasures had been in Chun Sansi's hands for a long time, so there's no need for further explanation. Relatively valuable were the items left by Chao Xie. The green origin sword, the cultivation techniques of the heavenly sword sect, various spirit stones, valuable elixir pills, a set of heaven and earth strange gate, formation inheritance, and an array plate. If this set of formation inheritance could be cultivated to the late stage, it would allow him to use formations anytime and anywhere, controlling the position of the 5 elements, and moving with unpredictable stealth like Chao Xie. Speaking of the most precious, it was actually the heavenly repairing stone spirit liquid, obtained from the bottom of the Luoshao Valley. After consuming this small half-bottle of spirit liquid, Chun Sansi estimated that his realm could be elevated directly to the golden core middle stage. According to the news received in recent days, now is a good time for seclusion. Otherwise, when various matters begin to ferment, there might not even be time to meditate. The righteous demon war won't see major changes in the short term, but sooner or later, it will erupt. There's also senior sister Jiang Xia, who is currently settled in Skywall City. However, the issue of the demon seed might already be raising suspicions, and coupled with Lu Shengji, it's uncertain if it might implicate the mistress. When these problems truly arise, they will require strong power to resolve. The only thing he can do now is to cultivate. Chen Sansi set up a spirit-gathering array, raising the spiritual energy level inside the Boundless Hall to a pseudo-third tier, then summoned the Longdan Bright Silver Spear and began practicing the Dragon Scripture, officially starting his closed-door training. In the time that followed, he would review memorial reports during the Hour of Mao every day, observing the movements of various factions. The remaining time would be spent first on cultivating martial arts and then advancing on the immortal path. Time flew by and several months passed. For core formation cultivators, a single session of seclusion lasting several years is very normal. Most people need decades, if not centuries, to break through their realms. But with the help of the heavenly repairing stone spirit liquid, Chen Sansi, after only a few dozen days of cultivation, had already reached the threshold of a breakthrough. Inside the Great Hall, spiritual energy flowed into his body like a celestial river, the golden core devouring the aura like a hungry giant whale. With every rotation, it swelled a little, and mountain and river-like patterns appeared on the surface of his core. It seemed as if the golden core was about to crack at any moment. However, if one observed closely with divine sense, it would become apparent that these cracks were not random but were carved into intricate designs as if by divine craftsmanship. The pattern derived from this was the celestial stars pattern. When the star rune of the Eastern Blue Dragon constellation appeared, a powerful force surged from within the golden core, pouring throughout his entire body in an instant. Chen Sansi suddenly opened his eyes, a mighty mana spreading out from his center. The drapes in the great hall fluttered wildly, and candlesticks fell. Breakthrough. Golden core middle stage. Cultivation technique. Swallowing fire technique. Golden core middle stage. Progress. 0/1000. Utility. 8 Desolate's Flame Armor. 8 Desolate's Flame Armor. With breakthrough in cultivation, comprehend the magic. You can mobilize internal flames to materialize into battle armor, with defensive power increasing along with the realm. Boom! A scorching flame erupted from Chen Sansi's 7 orifices, like little serpents piercing through, transforming into armor on the surface of his body. The 8 Desolate's Flame Armor, comprehended this time, is equivalent to gaining an additional defensive treasure that can be upgraded in the future without any materials. And even if this treasure is damaged, it can be repaired immediately with mana. With this magic, Chen Sansi could become more thick-skinned and tough. He did not rest. Instead, he took out the bright silver spear and, while the medicinal effect of the spiritual liquid in his body hadn't been completely consumed, continued to cultivate the martial arts dragon scripture. The glazed golden body realm requires breaking through 3 gates and 9 openings, namely the 3 fields in front, the 3 gates at the back, and the 3 apertures. Now, with the 3 gates open, to advance to the middle stage, one must open the 3 apertures. The 3 apertures are the Yin-inviting acupoint, the Yang acupoint, and the Central Palace acupoint. The foremost among them is the Yin aperture. The Yin aperture, also known as the Sea Bottom and Fengdu Ghost Gate, is aligned with the celestial stars in astrology, located at the virtual rat of the 28 lunar mansions, and believed to symbolize the merging of sun and moon and the harmony of Yin and Yang. In martial arts, the Yin aperture is of great significance, unifying form and force through the concept of void. With the dance of the Longdan Bright Silver Spear, Chen Sansi's acupoint was opened, and the familiar interface appeared again in front of him. Cultivation technique. Dragon scripture. Glazed golden body realm. Early stage. Progress. 100/300. After breaking through a level, Chen Sansi put down the long spear and slowly exhaled a turbid breath. He still had the last small amount of heavenly repairing stone spirit liquid left, and once it's completely refined, it's estimated that even his martial arts could reach the middle stage. But after that, he would need to take steady steps, cultivating in seclusion for years at a time. Unfortunately, heavenly repairing stone spirit liquid is extremely rare, almost impossible to find outside ancient secret realms. Chun Sansi recited the calming incantation to remind himself not to be too hasty in his cultivation. Apart from the cultivation technique, his various skills have also improved. Magic, 10,000 Sword Sky Arrival. 3rd tier. Progress, 1255/2000. Divine Skills, Arrow Tau, 2nd tier. Progress, 888/2000. Skill, Alchemy, 3rd tier. Progress, 1018/2000. Skill, Formation, 3rd tier. Progress, 922/2000. Skill, Heavenly Destiny of 10,000 Soldiers, 1st level. Progress, 429/500. It's true that having more skills won't weigh you down, but in cultivation, having a clear priority is essential. The most pressing need for quick advancement is undoubtedly in alchemy and formation. Alchemy can assist in realm improvement, while formation is crucial for combat power and for crafting the destructive spirit array. Without a moment of rest, Chun Sansi planned to take out materials and delve into formation. At this moment, sudden thunder boomed outside. He transformed into the light of escape and flew out of the hall, looking up to see above an unnamed mountain in Skywall City. Large swaths of dark clouds gathered, with raging thunder flashing within. Tribulation Thundercloud. Reporting to your majesty. A female cultivator came to report. It's Chen Sun and several seniors, undergoing a tribulation. I know. After returning from Skywater Continent, Chun Sansi properly settled his spiritual pet and spent a fortune on finding tribulationating items for them, such as the Tribulation Crossing Pill. As for the rest, it could only be left to fate. Boom! The lightning tribulations of the 3 demon beasts merged, appearing grand and majestic. With the first bolt of thunder, the demon beast's tribulation officially began. On the mountain peak, Chen Sun soared into the sky against the clouds, with gentian wind patterns amidst her snow-white mane. Each step her 4 hooves took in the air emitted circular shockwaves. 9 layers of thunderclouds had just taken shape, and she even proactively charged into the core of the tribulation cloud. Crack! Purple lightning split down like a spider web. Chen Sun neighed loudly to the sky, releasing a tornado wall around her that forcibly shredded the lightning into pieces. But then, the third bolt of thunder fell in succession. The defensive barrier formed by the spiritual power in front of her rapidly shattered, almost causing her to fall from the air. When the 5th bolt descended, Chen Sun suddenly spread her wings of light beside her ribs, which were like blades, forcibly cutting the lightning in two, smashing it sideways against the mountain and leaving a sky-deep crater. It seems this horse has learned a new ability, Chun Sansi observed quietly. Under the effect of the Tribulation Crossing Pill, Chen Sun had a certain immunity to divine thunder, enduring several bolts and charging back with her body wounded. At the moment when her wings collided with the final thunder-formed spear, the cloud layer was torn apart into a star-ringed crack, twisting the void. When the light dissipated, Chen Sun stood unharmed upon the boundless cloud layer, her mane shimmering like flowing liquid spiritual energy, and a diamond-shaped crystal mark glowing with golden light appeared on her forehead. It was clearly a successful tribulation. Meanwhile, on the eastern side of the peak, the blue bird began undergoing tribulation as well. She spiraled in the center of the thunderstorm vortex, her steel-like feathers erect like blades, her wings stirring up whirlwinds that rubbed against the tribulation clouds, emitting bluish-purple electric fire. Compared to Chen Sun, the blue bird found tribulation more difficult, and she couldn't withstand the final bolt of thunder, slowly descending from high above, crashing into a lake below and raising waves several feet high. Chun Sansi frowned slightly. A few breaths later, the lake water surged, and a streak of azure light burst forth, shooting straight to the sky, letting out a resounding cry. The blue bird successfully crossed the tribulation, its entire body transforming into a semi-transparent azure golden hue, with runes flowing on the surface. Its wings spread out to a length of 12 zhang, becoming a gigantic creature. However, with one flap of its wings, it shrank itself down to the size of a sparrow, clearly able to control its size at will. Finally, it was the white jade spirit snake's turn. Wait a moment. Chun Sansi noticed that the thunder tribulation above the white snake was somehow much more powerful than those faced by Chen Sun and the blue bird. The first bolt of lightning struck down like a sharp sword, the thunderous roar deafening. The white snake craned its neck and hissed, its tail striking heavily, lifting the entire lake into a towering water wall in front of it with a great wave. Crack! But after just withstanding for bolts of lightning, the water wall shattered completely, and the white snake was sent flying backward, crashing heavily against the ground. It hissed again, the white scales on its entire body glimmering with a glass-like texture, its tail striking the lake's surface once more, forming a whirlpool with a diameter of 100 zhang, uprooting the entire lake, carrying with it the millennium-old sediment and fish into the sky, transforming into a jiaolong that shrouded the sky, coiling within. Crack, crack, crack. 3 bolts of lightning crashed down, instantly exploding the jiaolong, the waves surging into the clouds and then falling, creating a rainstorm. The white scales of the white jade spirit snake showed large patches of shedding, exposing charred flesh beneath. It struggled to gather mana once more, but its spiritual power was already exhausted, unable to form any effective defense. If the final and strongest heavenly thunder were to strike, it would either lead to failure or death. Sister Bai Yu. Chun Yunqi arrived in the air on an immortal crane, casting out a talisman, her hands forming seals while chanting a spell. Once activated, the talisman transformed into a blue barrier, enveloping the white snake like armor. The 9th layer of the thunder tribulation formed a trident in the dark clouds, descending directly toward the white snake's 7th inch, only to collide with the blue light, producing an ear-piercing screeching sound from the friction. Moments later, the blue light shattered, but it managed to dissipate 90% of the tribulation's power, allowing the white jade spirit snake to withstand it successfully. Once the thunderclouds cleared from the sky, the lake water began to surge once again, giant waves rising from all directions, resembling lotus petals, surrounding the white snake. Her bodily wounds began healing at a pace visible to the naked eye, her size expanding rapidly from the original 3 zhang to 30 zhang, becoming a bona fide giant python. On her spinal joints grew 7 pairs of crystalline bone spurs, her tail bifurcating into 3 streams, capable of manipulating water as separate blades. She grew 2 crystalline clusters atop her head, and a Dao pattern of a golden core condensed on her forehead, no longer resembling an ordinary demon beast. Her bloodline returned to that of an ancestor. Chun Sansi's beast-taming memory enabled spiritual pets to return to their ancestral roots. As it turned out, it was due to this attribute that his spiritual pets could cultivate so quickly. Otherwise, whether in beast cultivation or demon cultivation, reaching the core formation realm would take at least 500 years. In short, all 3 spiritual pets successfully crossed their tribulations, providing Chun Sansi with a sigh of relief. The spiritual objects used for crossing tribulations were exchanged by him using precious core formation spiritual objects, finally proving their worth. Wait, he suddenly sensed some unusual fluctuations coming from a cave on this nameless mountain. Almost forgot it. Chun Sansi utilized an escape technique, swiftly arriving at the cave entrance. Inside the deep cavern, the floor was lined with spirit stones, with 2 completely black cicadas completing their final breakthrough. Unlike demon beasts, the minor tribulations faced by goo insects were much weaker, with the few feeble bolts of lightning failing to penetrate the defensive array set up by Chun Sansi. At this moment, dense magic-eating cicadas surrounded the insect king and insect queen at the center, offering their life essence. Threads of golden light infused the bodies of the insect king and insect queen, forming a magnificent scene. During this process, both completed their advancement, becoming core formation stage goo insects known as split core cicadas. Looking ahead, the insect king had a dark body, its golden shell etched with cracks, its 6 wings thin as cicada silk yet radiating a metallic luster. Spiral pores covered its abdomen, each breath forming miniature spiritual power vortices. The insect queen's bloated body resembled amber-colored crystal, its back embedded with 12 energy-storing insect eggs, producing the sound of gemstones clinking as it moved. After stepping into the golden core stage, every goo insect they birthed contained a miniature golden core. Though their power was far weaker compared to a real golden core, they were equivalent to an ordinary strike from a fake pill cultivator, and their sheer numbers couldn't be underestimated. Forging arrows from materials used for creating magical treasures was overly extravagant, but with goo insects, it equated to having an endless supply of cost-free magic-level arrows. Buzz! There was a strange noise from behind. Chun Sansi turned his head and saw the white jade spirit snake's massive head blocking the cave entrance, curiously peeking inside. The blue bird shrank to the size of a honeybird, flew in through a crack, and landed on his shoulder. Qian soon also transformed into a beam of light and arrived in the cave. Several spiritual pets lined up like soldiers being inspected in front of Tianwu. Chun Sansi reached out his hand and gently stroked Qian Sun's cloud-like mane. You are now considered great demons, but you must not slack off and must continue to practice diligently. After giving them brief instructions, he intended to return to the boundless hall, but the blue bird blocked his way, tilting its head to prevent him from leaving. Ah, blue bird, among you, only your mind is as sharp as a needle. Aren't you afraid it might affect your future cultivation? As Chun Sansi said this, he still gently patted her head. Seeing this, the white jade spirit snake also looked on expectantly. Chun Sansi sighed helplessly and tapped her jade-like scales before leaving the cave and returning to the inner palace. She went to the noble consort's residence and, after confirming that Sun Li was practicing under the supervision of 2 female officials, left silently. But her senior sister's qualifications are limited, and the hope of breaking through to martial saint seems too slim after all. The conditions of his disciples vary as well. Su Kan is doing well, having just broken through to the true power late stage. With another 20 years of honing, he should be able to enter the glazed gold body realm. Yu Ji is at the mid-stage foundation establishment, and should be able to reach the golden core realm in 30 to 40 years. Yu Lai is slightly weaker, still at the true power middle stage. As for the other children, Chen Yunqi is at the mid-stage foundation establishment but is sure to reach the late stage within 10 years, and will definitely form a core in 30 years. Su Yunhuan's situation is similar to hers. The younger Chan Yunchuan hasn't started cultivating yet, while Chan Yunmei, whom he adopted, has reached the qi refining middle stage. As for his eldest son, Chen Duwei, before the troops marched to heavenly water, he had already gone alone to the border, engaging in the acts of robbery cultivators. Except that he robs demon cultivators. It is said that in some places along the chaotic wilderness Yongzhou border, mortals have already started to offer tributes to portraits of Chan Duwei. This kid has been independent and unconventional since childhood, and Chan Sansi can't control him. He can only pray for his safety. Now, it is June of the 28th year of Tianwu. Chen Sansi, having come out of seclusion, didn't linger. After leaving the Great Han, he went to the border of Sky Water Continent, preparing to deal with the upcoming righteous and demonic war. Moreover, so much time has passed since he exterminated the entire Guiyuan sect, and the incident should have spread by now. He wondered how the Three Heavens sect would handle it. Since the war between righteousness and demons hasn't ended, Kungsu won't turn against the Great Han for now, but they need to give an explanation to other sects, and the best way might be to pin it on Chao Xie. Compared to himself, Chan Sansi was actually more worried about whether the Qingshu sect and his teacher's wife would be implicated because of him. Kungsu Holy Sect. On this day, each of the 36 heavenly sects sent an elder to this place to lodge a complaint against the Great Han. Qingxian Mountain Elder Ji Xuandu spoke firmly. Taoist Chongshu, I saw with my own eyes that the soldiers of the East Victory Han dynasty suddenly attacked Guiyuan sect, slaughtering thousands without a single servant disciple left alive. Such actions are horrific and inhuman, no different than the demon sect. Indeed, Ting Sonka from the Wuxing sect side. Clearly, 2 years ago, I was consulting with Taoist Feng Qi about some spirit plant skill secrets. Suddenly, they perished, and even now, I find it hard to accept this fact.
Dies gongzo.
Elders from the other sects began to criticize vehemently. The holy sect cannot possibly ignore such matters. Yes, this is a monstrous crime that cannot be easily forgiven. In my opinion, this matter carries significant responsibility for the Qingshu sect as well. Exactly. That Chun, hiding in the Qingshu sect for years. Is it possible that they were unaware or turned a blind eye deliberately? Sect capitals, including Qingshan Mountain, suddenly shifted their arguments to target Qingshu sect. Don't speak nonsense. The Qingshu sect's Zhouhai Zhenren came forward, glaring as he retorted. That Chan Sansi has nothing to do with our Qingshu sect. On the contrary, he killed Lu Shangji and took his place, even abducting one of our core formation disciples. Ting Sonka and others can testify to this. It is true. Ting Sonka nodded. At that time, Zhouhai Taoist and I engaged in a large battle with Chun Lei at Yufeng Mountain. Could it be? Qingshan Mountain elder Ji Xuandu spoke coldly. Were they putting on a play for everyone? Bullshit. Zhouhai Zhenren cursed. Then tell me, what benefit does it bring our sect to harbor someone like Chun? Hee. Ji Xuandu sneered. Who knows? Ji, you're asking for death. Zhouhai Zhenren, unable to bear it any longer, rolled up his sleeves ready to fight. Enough! Amidst the crowd, Master Chongshu of the Holy Sect, who had been sitting cross-legged above on a cloud, interrupted their quarrel. Under everyone's gaze, he slowly said, Guiyuan sect colluded with Chao Xie to create the demon cult in the East Victory Divine Continent. Their crimes deserved punishment. Tian Wu's suppression was at my behest. What sin is there in that? With these words, the hall erupted into chaos. Feng Qi and Chao Xie colluding? Speaking of which, Chao Xie's actions were very suspicious. Why did he suddenly go mad when he had already established the Immortal Festival and yet decided to go to the East Victory Divine Continent? What's going on? Enough! Master Chongshu's tone grew heavier. This matter is settled. There is no need for further discussion, and none of you shall use this as an excuse to launch an attack against the Han court. He paused for a moment and continued. Currently, our Skywater continent is besieged from all sides, and we cannot do without the help of Taoist Tianwu. I hope all fellow Taoists will consider the bigger picture. Everyone, return. The border is understaffed, and if you stay away too long, problems might arise. Heavenly Sword Sect Master Wang Shoujua and Purple Sun Palace Master Qin Zhaoji both tacitly agreed. The elders of the sects knew that continuing the discussion was meaningless, so they gradually dispersed. Taoist Zhehuan. Wang Shoujua sent a message to Zhehuan Zhenren, who was planning to leave as well. Please stay a moment. Not long after. Within the Grand Hall, aside from the sect leaders of the Three Heavens sect, only Zhehuan Zhenren remained. Respected sect leaders. Zhehuan Zhenren frowned. I can assure you that Chun Fellow has absolutely no connection to our Qingshu sect. Taoist Zhehuan. There's no need to be tense. Master Chongshu gently waved his sleeve, conjuring a tea tray from thin air and invited him to sit. I asked you to stay, not because of Chun Lei. Not because of the Chun Fellow? Zhehuan Zhenren asked, puzzled. Then what is it about? Qin Zhaoji said, it's about your sect's Baihua Valley disciple, Jiang Xie. Jiang Xie. Zhehuan Zhenren lowered his head, pondering silently. He had heard some rumors about the events within the Luo Shao Immortal Palace. Could it be about that? You don't need to be nervous, Master Chongshu said with a smile. We merely wish to learn more about her, as detailed as possible. To be honest, I'm not very familiar with this niece of mine. Zhehuan Zhenren answered. I only know that many years ago, my junior sister Master Yuling accepted this disciple from the mortal world. Roughly he revealed everything he knew. After listening, the sect leaders of the Three Heavens sect exchanged glances. Finally, Master Chongshu said, if that's the case, we won't trouble you further, Taoist. Respected sect leaders. Jihuan Zhenren was in no hurry to leave. The sword demon within her. Is it truly an ancient sword immortal? Does she have any chance of salvation? After all, she is a member of our Qingshu sect. Difficult to say. Master Chongshu dodged the question, giving a perfunctory answer. Very well, if there's any news about her, I'd trouble Taoist Chongshu to send someone to inform me. Jihuan Zhenren took his leave. After he left, Master Chongshu looked at the other two and asked, in your opinion, is what is hidden within Jiangxia a sword demon, or a demon seed? The probability of it being a demon seed is high. Qin Zhaoji from Purple Sun Palace leaned lazily in his seat, playing with a teacup with his slender fingers, squinting his eyes as he spoke. We once dug 3 feet deep and performed soul-searching and soul-refining, but couldn't find the demon seed, which in itself is suspicious. Chronologically, it coincides with us capturing Nangong Qingyao as Qingshu sect accepted Jiang Xie as a disciple. If this girl is indeed the child of Mu Chutai and Nangong Qingyao, and they hid the demon seed within Jiang Xie, then it makes sense. There's no need to be so hasty. Master Chongshu pondered. As you mentioned, we conducted soul-searching and soul-refining on Mu Chutai and didn't find evidence of a daughter. Perhaps it truly is a sword demon. This matter is simple. Wang Shouzhua stood up abruptly. I will capture Mu Chutai along with that Yuling and interrogate them day and night. It's hard to believe they won't tell the truth. Absolutely not. Master Chongshu rejected the idea. Before anything is decided, it is best not to damage the harmony between us and the Qingshu sect. Qingshu sect, Wang Shouzhua said indifferently. This is a serious matter. Capturing 2 people, do we really need to worry about Qingshu sect? The Qingshu sect is indeed a minor sect, so there's no need to be concerned. But, Master Chongshu paused. Zhang Huiqing and his junior sister have a deep bond, and he has taken care of Mu Chutai over the years. If we try to capture them, he will surely intervene. Wang Shouzhua dismissed the notion. That Zhang Huiqing, although he did make a remarkable step into the mid-stage nascent soul, he is still not worth our concern, right? You're not wrong. Qin Zhaoji from Purple Sun Palace took over, speaking with a drawl. Zhang Huiqing himself is indeed nothing to be feared, but our concern is not him personally. Oh! Wang Shouzhua was puzzled. What do you mean by that? Just before Brother Wang arrived, an immortal decree came down at the Tongtian Pond, adding a name to the Taishan Immortal Register. A stream of light flew out from Master Chongshu's sleeve. After pausing in the air, it transformed into a scroll that slowly unfolded. What? Wang Shouzhua looked at the scroll with a cloud-patterned background and Dao rhyme flowing. His pupils trembled. Impossible. Zhang Huiqing ascended to the Taishan Immortal Register? Indeed. Qin Zhaoji from the Purple Sun Palace said pensively, we didn't expect this either, but now it seems that Qingshu sect will flourish for a long time to come. I assume Brother Wang understands what it means to ascend to the Taishan Immortal Register. Master Chongshu continued. So it's best not to have a direct conflict with Zhang Huiqing, and the matter of the demon seed need not be too urgent. As long as the demon seed is still in the mortal world, it is bound to resurface. I understand. Wang Shouzhua's face grew somber. But the investigation must still be carried out. Let my sect handle this matter. Rest assured, the Taishan Immortal Register will not be disrupted. After adding a final remark, he turned and left directly. This. Master Chongshu watched the hasty departing figure, murmuring. It seems Master Wang is deeply affected by the matter of the Taishan Immortal Register. How could he not be? Qin Zhaoji said, Taoist Chongshu, do not forget the grievances between the Heavenly Sword Sect and Qingshu Sect. If Zhang Huiqing ascends to the Heavenly Water Peak, the first to suffer will be the Heavenly Sword Sect. Hiss! Master Chongshu clicked his tongue. If that's the case, shouldn't I stop Master Wang to prevent him from acting impulsively? Why stop? Qin Zhaoji took a sip of tea, speaking unhurriedly. If something goes wrong with the demon seed, we must also bear responsibility. Yet during the investigation, should something happen to Zhang Huiqing, we will also encounter trouble. This is a hot potato, let the Heavenly Sword sect handle it. We can turn a blind eye to the whole affair. Isn't that just right? Moreover, the quota for the Ascension platform is scarce. Only if the Heavenly Sword sect has trouble can we gain more. You rascal! Master Chongshu pointed at the other, teasingly said, 1,000 years have passed, and your mind is still this devious. Life between heaven and earth is so insignificant, while the opportunities of the heavenly Tao are so elusive. Without being meticulous in conduct, how could one hope to touch the threshold? Qin Zhaoji placed down his teacup. After all disputes in the lower realm are only for ascension. Speaking of ascension, Master Chongshu sighed, that eastern continent, who knows when it can be reclaimed? Chunlei for now does not pose a threat, but Li Guanfu of the demon-slaying sect clearly came to shield him last time. Those wretches of the demon-slaying sect. Qin Zhaoji's eyes showed malice. We must find a way to eliminate them sooner or later. Qingshu sect. Chun Sansi disguised himself as an unremarkable Foundation establishment disciple, infiltrating the core of the sect, heading straight towards Baihua Valley. After the incident, he was worried about implicating this place, so he hadn't contacted his teacher's wife, but he ultimately needed to report peace and discuss how to settle his senior sister afterward. When Chun Sansi arrived at Baihua Valley, familiar with the route, he didn't see the teacher's wife, but instead saw the young Taoist Shirlu, leaning against the cave mansion door, fast asleep. Taoist, I'm here to visit Elder Yuling. Could you tell me where she is now? However, no matter how much Chun Sansi called out or even tried to shake him, the young Taoist remained motionless. If it weren't for his pulse still beating, he would be indistinguishable from the dead. Turtle breath technique? Chun Sansi sensed the other's extremely faint breathing, guessed that this might be due to practicing some spell. He decided not to disturb further and prepared to seek out his senior sister. Just at that moment, an anomaly occurred. Above Qingshu sect, the previously clear sky suddenly became shrouded in thick, dark clouds, plunging heaven and earth into deep darkness. The clouds, like ink, gathered turbulently, as if stirred by an invisible giant hand, forming a massive vortex. At the center of the vortex, lightning patterns could be vaguely seen intertwined. Tribulation clouds. Someone at Qingshu sect is undergoing a tribulation, and judging by the intensity of the heavenly tribulation, it's a nascent soul cultivator level heavenly tribulation. Who could it be? In Chun Sansi's memory, among the many Qingshu sect elders, barring Zhang Huiqing, there should be no other with such qualification. Chun Sansi soared into the sky, gazing towards the direction where the phenomenon was gathering, and quickly recognized the tribulation crossing land. Zhongnan Peak. The elder of this peak was named Su Taisu. It's him. Chun Sansi had once had a brief encounter with this person in the treasure pavilion, and even gifted him the Cloud Seal demon-binding silk. In exchange, he needed to do his best to help the other party repair an array plate. The last time they met, this person was still in the middle stage of core formation. How could he suddenly be crossing a nascent soul tribulation in such a short time? The disciples still remaining in Qingshu sect all looked up at the sky, watching the heavenly tribulation with incredulous faces. At the summit of Zhongnan Peak, Su Taisu stood with his hands behind his back, his gray Taoist robe fluttering in the gale. His expression was calm, and in his deep eyes, the suffocating oppression of the heavenly dome above was reflected. Boom! The first heavenly thunder tore through the clouds like a giant silver dragon, carrying a world-destroying force as it struck straight down. The thunder's light was blinding, seemingly dyeing everything between heaven and earth in a ghastly white. Li Qingyun raised his hand, instantly gathering a golden spiritual power barrier, which collided with the lightning, erupting in a deafening explosion. This nascent soul tribulation formally began. Chun Sansi guessed that Shenyang and the others were very likely all going as protectors, so he did not leave and stayed in Baihua Valley to watch the tribulation. The heavenly tribulation for nascent soul cultivators was far stronger than the core formation heavenly tribulation. To be precise, The tribulation for a golden core cultivator was actually just a warning from the heavenly Tao, hence it called a minor heavenly tribulation. The difficulty between them was incomparable. But the entire process of Su Taisu's tribulation was remarkably smooth, with hardly any dangerous situations, and he completed the tribulation successfully. The celestial phenomenon dissipated, and everything returned to tranquility. Who is this Taoist friend? A voice came by the ear. Chun Sansi looked down and saw that the young Taoist who had been sleeping for days finally woke up. He informed him, "I am here to visit Elder Yuling." "Oh." As expected, the young Taoist replied, "My family's elder is on Zhongnan Peak acting as a protector for Elder Su Taisue. Is the tribulation already over?" "It is over," Chun Sansi replied. Approximately half a day later, Master Yuling finally returned with senior sister Jiang Qiangsu. Upon seeing Tian Wu, a look of tension appeared on their faces. The group entered the cave mansion and set up a boundary to prevent intrusion. "Shenyang." Chun Sansi clasped his hands and said, "I have already placed Chiyu World in the eastern continent, and there will be no danger in the short term." He recounted everything that happened earlier in Luoshao Immortal Palace in great detail. "The demon seed has developed self-awareness?" Master Yuling was surprised. Jiang Qiangsu assessed, "But fortunately, at present, the demon seed itself does not wish to fall into Kungsu's hands. Aside from these," Chun Sansi emphasized, "Actually, I am more concerned about whether I will bring trouble to Shenyang and Qingshu sect." "You don't need to worry about this," Master Yuling said quietly. "The matter of the demon seed will inevitably be exposed one day. Quite the contrary, if you weren't here, I really don't know where Shiyu could safely hide, so you must not feel guilty. It is rather Shenyang who should thank you." "Senior sister." Chun Sansi paused. "Is she the biological daughter of my master, Lord Taishan?" Master Yuling and Jiang Qiangsu exchanged glances, once again surprised. "Junior brother," Jiang Qiangsu said. "Did the demon seed tell you this as well?" "It's a long story." Master Yuling was somewhat dazed. Back then, Qing Yao and Mu Chutai lived in seclusion for many years together. Then suddenly one day, a female baby wearing a token appeared at the door of my cave mansion. Shortly afterward, news came from outside that Qing Yao was captured, and Mu Chutai crippled his root bone himself. Over the years, Shenyang has always treated Shiyu as her own child and always wanted to help her remove the demon seed from her body. Though unfortunately, it was not possible. It's not just what the demon seed said. Observing Master's behavior on regular days could reveal a bit as well. Chun Sansi said, "Master has a bad temper, but he is unusually patient with senior sister. Looking back now, he bore humiliation and disgrace to protect senior sister. Didn't he?" "Protect?" At this, Master Yuling sneered. "It's just an act. After crippling his root bone, he can never break through chi refinement in his lifetime. Who can he protect?" Chun Sansi was non-committal. "You don't know yet, do you?" Master Yuling said angrily. After the sword demon incident spread, this old turtle scurried back from the borderlines, now trembling in his turtle shell, fearing someone will come to settle accounts with him. I dare say, if someone used Jiang Xie to trade for his life, he'd agree without hesitation. Such a person, to save his own life, is capable of doing anything. The disciple thinks, not necessarily. Chun Sansi recalled some things he wanted to try and verify. He clasped his hands and said, "Shenyang, since there is nothing urgent here, the disciple will take his leave for now." Master Yuling urged, "Take care of yourself and Shiyu. With your uncle Zhang Huiqing in Qingshu sect, there is no need to worry excessively." Chun Sansi bowed and took his leave. After leaving Baihua Valley, he went straight to the garden at the foot of the mountain. Outside the courtyard, the 7-foot bamboo fence had long since collapsed unevenly. The yellowed vines curled like the fingers of a dying old woman around the decayed wood. Inside the courtyard, dead leaves lay in layered heaps, the top a fresh burnt yellow, the middle streaked with moldy gray-green, and the bottom layer had merged with the black mud into a gelatinous substance. with each step squeezing out a foul-smelling ooze. The Tea's sword standing upright in the courtyard was covered with a dark green patina, and its cracks spread out like centipede legs, while the rust and coagulated blood scabs emitted a strange purple glow under the sunset. A few steps away, a drunk man slumped on a rattan chair, holding a wine jar that thudded into a pile of decaying leaves with a dull echo. "Master!" Chun Sansi walked into the courtyard and handed over a storage bag. "This is what you asked for last time." Lord Taishan would ask him for some heavenly materials and earthly treasures from time to time, then send them to immortal Jingshu at Shaoxiang Pavilion. "Oh, it's you." Mu Chutai's voice was a bit hoarse. After recognizing who it was, he grabbed the storage bag, checked that everything was in order, and then slowly sat up. "You sure are bold, daring to wipe out the Guiyuan sect. From now on, when you go out, don't say I'm your master. What brings you to me today?" "Senior Sister Ping'an," Chun Sansi informed. "Please rest assured, master." "Jiang." Mu Chutai glanced at him, then said nonchalantly, "What does that have to do with me?" Chun Sansi did not explicitly mention that he already knew about the relationship between them and his senior sister. Instead, he asked, "Does master need me to prepare some 1,000-year golden leaf grass for you?" Golden leaf grass is a material used by qi refining cultivators to refine elixir pills that enhance cultivation, usually with an age of about 200 years. 1,000-year golden leaf grass? Mu Chutai frowned and said, "Why would I need that worthless stuff?" Chun Sansi asked again, "By the way, master, you've been asking me to demonstrate my extreme divine power lately. Is there a deeper meaning behind it? Why so much nonsense?" Lord Taishan lost patience. "I like watching sword dances to boost my drinking pleasure. Isn't that allowed?" "Master is right." Chun Sansi refrained from saying more. "In that case, I'll take my leave." Wait. Lord Taishan called him back. "I see you've broken through the glazed gold body realm. Is your foundation solid? If anything goes wrong, it could affect your future cultivation, and you might never hope to step into the fourth realm of martial arts. Please test me, master." Chun Sansi cupped his fists as he spoke. "Let's change places." Mu Chutai waved his hand, leaving the courtyard and leading the way. Chun Sansi had no choice but to follow. The two walked eastward for over 100 miles to a valley on the outermost part of the Qingshu sect. From afar, he could already sense a strong presence of evil qi. Hundreds of years ago, a blood sacrifice of hundreds of thousands took place here, Mu Chutai explained. Since then, nothing has grown here, and no living beings can survive. Even the spirit vein has turned into a slaughter vein. Long-term cultivation here risks turning into a fallen demon, but occasionally practicing martial arts here can be a good place to temper the body. Begin, and show me the latest progress on the dragon scripture. "Thank you, master." Chun Sansi bowed respectfully, then lifted his long spear and began practicing on the slaughter vein. "You are indeed stronger than before, and you understand how to adjust your cultivation technique on your own." Mu Chutai drank the last mouthful of wine from the jar. "But it's still not enough. The path of martial arts is far more challenging than the immortal path. If you can't excel both internally and externally, you'll hit a roadblock sooner or later. Do you know what the fourth realm of martial arts is?" Chun Sansi said, "Please enlighten me, master." "Fat Ian Xiangdi." Mu Chutai spat out for words. "Fat Ian Xiangdi?" Chun Sansi had seen similar accounts. The so-called Fat Ian Xiangdi can be understood as emulating the operating patterns of heaven and earth or imitating the form of heaven and earth. When manifested, it often appears enormous, like an ancient god opening the sky and earth. He just didn't expect such divine skills were unique to martial arts practitioners. The immortal path is a path, and the path of martial arts is also a path. Although they differ, they ultimately lead to the same destination. Mu Chutai continued, "So from now on, you can't just focus on external skills. You must start to comprehend heaven and earth with your body and mind while cultivating." "I understand, master." Chun Sansi memorized it firmly. "All right, you can practice here now." Mu Chutai smashed the empty jar. "I'm going to get some wine. Following his master's advice, Chun Sansi began trying to comprehend heaven and earth, while consuming the residual medicinal power of the heavenly repairing stone spirit liquid in his body. After this period of cultivation, he once again reached the critical point of opening acupoints. After opening the Yin acupoint, the next hurdle was the Yang acupoint. The Yang acupoint is located between the Bai Hui and lumen on the top of the head. It is the key for qi and force to unite with the spirit, belonging to the extension of qi and yang. Once the Yang acupoint is open, qi flows smoothly with force united. Yang qi rises to the spirit platform. If the acupoint remains closed, qi stagnates, the force remains rigid, and everything becomes heavy and not agile. Only when the top of the head becomes a void spirit and the Yang acupoint is opened can one experience a sensation of invigorated force and ethereal spirit throughout the body. Chun Sansi gradually immersed himself in the dragon scripture, feeling the erosion and tempering of his meridians by evil qi and the uniqueness of this world. He wasn't sure how much time had passed, but suddenly he felt a burst of enlightenment behind his brain, and the true power within him increased. Cultivation technique. Dragon scripture. Glazed gold body realm. Early stage. Progress. 200/300. With the heavenly repairing stone spirit liquid, opening the final central palace acupoint would not take much longer. Chun Sansi put down the long spear and exhaled a slow breath of turbid air. He looked up, realizing it was already late. At this moment, there was movement in the distant forest. Could it be that Lord Taishan returned with the wine? Wait a second. No. Chun Sansi instantly activated his golden body. Flames erupted from within and transformed into a set of armor on the surface of his body. 8 Desolate's flame armor. Simultaneously, a streak of light approached at an incredible speed. Chun Sansi, unafraid, activated his mystic spirit 6 arms, wielding different magic artifacts, and proactively engaged in battle. Boom! The aftershock rippled outward, causing the ground to crack. Both parties retreated 100 feet back. Chun Sansi focused his gaze, seeing that the intruder was a late-stage golden core cultivator, who seemed to be just in his early 20s. "Who are you?" he said in a deep voice. "Why attack me without any reason?" Without any reason? In the young cultivator's palm appeared a distinct black and white fan. "Tianwu, you really are a man of many forgettings." Qianyuan Taiji fan. Chun Sansi recognized the spiritual treasure. "Are you Dongwei?" Back in the Luo Shao Immortal Palace, he had used all laws forbidden to destroy Dongwei's physical body, but couldn't kill his nascent soul. It seems, this guy escaped and possessed a new body, but his realm has yet to recover to the nascent soul realm. Furthermore, since this person, along with Rong Rojuan, ambushed him in the secret realm, they have been hunted as demon cultivators. "Chun Lei, you destroyed my body and shattered my immortal path. If I don't kill you, I'll die with regrets." Master Dongwei formed hand seals, controlling the Qianyuan Taiji fan to descend from the sky, like Mount Taishan coming down to crush him. Chun Sansi summoned all his magical treasures, grappling head-on, not yielding an inch. "What?" Master Dongwei was incredulous. "You've reached the middle stage of the core formation so quickly?" Clearly, not long ago in the secret realm, he was only at the early stage of the core formation. "Truly a monster." Master Dongwei squinted his eyes. "If I were alone today, I probably wouldn't be able to handle you. This is bad." As the other spoke, Chun Sansi had already sensed the abnormality behind him, but couldn't react in time to defend. Instantaneous technique. Nascent soul cultivator. In the area behind Tianwu, the void tore open, and a figure silently appeared, wielding a heavy ruler wrapped with power of the stars. It pierced through the protective magical power and struck his back heavily, clashing with the 8 Desolate's flame armor, emitting a muffled sound. Boom! Chun Sansi was thrown forward, crashing into the cliff's rock wall. The armor on his body suffered major damage, but quickly repaired itself under the cover of flames. Thankfully, he had the 8 Desolate's flame armor. Otherwise, this blow alone might have severely injured him. He looked up to see that the assailant was another familiar face.
Heavenly Sword Sect Elder, Ron Royun.
Give me back my junior brother's life. The magical power on Rong Rojuin radiated outward like a tidal wave, attacking Tianwu. Chun Sanxi's escape technique is superb, but how could it possibly compete with a nascent soul cultivator wielding a void spiritual treasure? He couldn't dodge at all and had to face the attack head-on once more. Rong Rojuin, despite her slender figure, wielded immense and overwhelming mana. The void-shifting ruler in her hand was as heavy as the heavenly pillar Buzhou Mountain. Chun Sanxi raised his magical treasure in front to block, and under the enormous impact, he was knocked backward, crashing through layer after layer of rock wall, piercing straight through the entire mountain peak before slamming heavily into the ground. The 8 Desolates' flame armor on his body was shattered, and even his golden body became dimmer. This strike, if it weren't for the armor and golden body, he feared he would have perished on the spot. The gap between the golden core and nascent soul is still too vast. Great sadness womb soul-suppressing bell. Chun Sanxi couldn't rise in time, lying in the deep pit and summoned the talisman. A copper bell descended from the sky, directly falling towards the nascent soul female cultivator. Rong Rojuin formed a seal with her delicate hands, and the power of the stars from the moving ruler transformed into a phoenix, clashing head-on with the soul-suppressing bell. Seizing this opportunity, Chun Sanxi activated triple blood burning, escaping into the distance. Yet after just 2 breaths, Rong Rojuin relied on her spiritual treasure to perform the instantaneous technique, evading the soul-suppressing bell's attack, then pursuing Tianwu, rapidly closing the distance with incredible speed. Meanwhile, Master Dongwei also elevated his mana to the utmost. The spirit light on the Taiji fan blazed, sweeping the clouds above the 9 heavens into a tornado that came crashing down. Blood-burning tribulation. Chun Sanxi slashed open his palm, and the crimson blood coiled around his magical treasure like a flying snake, wrapped in overwhelming flames, stormed into the tornado, successfully dispersing it. But the brief delay was enough for the nascent soul cultivator to catch up. With another instantaneous technique, she arrived 7 steps before him. Chun Sanxi channeled most of his mana into the 8 Desolates' flame armor and prepared the magic-eating cicada, coated in lamp oil, for self-destruction. In a split second, a massive sword chi tore through the void and descended from the sky, directly striking at the nascent soul female cultivator's heavenly spirit. Rong Rojuin had to halt. The spiritual treasure surged toward Cloud Peak, intending to shatter the sword chi. Yet, the moment they touched, the sword chi split into 2, then 4, then 8. In an instant, it spread across the sky like a swarm of locusts, poised to devour the nascent soul female cultivator completely. Middle stage cultivator. Rong Rojuin felt the terrifying mana contained within, summoning a barrier before her, while performing the instantaneous technique to escape the encircling sword chi. Her voice was sharp and cold. Who is it? Zhongnan Peak, Su Taisu. An elderly man clad in a simple Taoist robe appeared abruptly. You? Rong Rojuin's eyes flashed, her tone clearly flustered. Didn't you just undergo tribulation? You, like Zhang Huiqing, immediately reached the mid-stage nascent soul after tribulation, straight into mid-stage nascent soul. The difference between early-stage nascent soul and mid-stage is as vast as the heavens and earth. It sounds like a small difference in realm, but for most cultivators, there could be hundreds of years of sediment between them. When an early-stage nascent soul encounters a mid-stage cultivator, it's already fortunate to escape, let alone fight back. Thus, skipping over early-stage nascent soul straight into mid-stage after tribulation appears so incredible. How is it possible? Rong Rojuin was utterly perplexed. Zhang Huiqing refined Qingyun from birth within his body. How did you manage it? Suddenly, Qingshu sect had 2 mid-stage nascent soul cultivators, enough to secure a stable position among the 12 nascent soul upper sects. Is it Taoist Rong from Heavenly Sword sect? Su Taisu didn't answer her question, instead solemnly stating, You are now a wanted demon cultivator. Instead of hiding quietly, You come to Qingshu sect to wreak havoc. You have quite the nerve. Su, the surname Su. Rong Rojuan bit her silver teeth, her tone resentful. Today I only came to kill Chen Lei. Unrelated to your Qingshu sect, I advise you not to meddle. Oh! Su Taisu sneered and then abruptly intensified his tone. What if this poor Taoist insists on meddling? At his words, his figure vanished, performing the instantaneous technique. Early-stage nascent soul cultivators can only use nascent soul emergence for teleportation. Mid-stage enables teleportation through the physical body, while late-stage cultivators can even perform Dharma Heaven and Earth Divine skills. Until now, Rong Rojuan had relied on the void-shifting ruler to easily handle cultivators of the same realm. But against Su Taisu, her advantage vanished completely. In terms of mana competition, she was utterly shattered in just one exchange. Su Taisu, I will kill you someday. Seeing the overwhelming sword chi closing in again, she dared not take another strike, lifting her right arm to use the ruler as a sword, unexpectedly tearing through the void, transforming into light of escape and darting into it. Another instantaneous technique. Chun Sansi rose into the air, scanning the surroundings, but within 50 miles, he couldn't find any trace of the female cultivator. She's already fled. Su Taisu slowly landed. The spiritual treasure in her hand is a replica of an ancient treasure that can consume original essence blood for long-distance teleportation, nearly equivalent to transmission, very troublesome to handle. As for Master Dongwei, he had already fled upon sensing the arrival of nascent soul cultivators. Thank you, Senior, for saving my life. Chun Sansi panted, clasping his hands in gratitude. No need for courtesy. Su Taisu waved his hand. Though this place is remote, it is still Qingshu sect's territory, so naturally, outsiders cannot be allowed to run wild. How are you, kid? Are you injured? I'm used to it. Chun Sansi sighed, somewhat helplessly. Fortunately, the immortal and martial dual cultivation has thick skin, making it hard to get killed. Hee. Su Taisu chuckled. You sure can take a beating. Let's not talk about this. I'm asking you, how's the progress on repairing the array plate I gave you last time? Not yet. Chun Sansi replied honestly. The senior's array plate is of the 5th rank, and I am currently only a 3rd rank array master. However, I will focus more on honing my formation skills in the coming period to try my best to help you with the repair. Good, Su Taishu said. Then, I'll be waiting for your good news. With that, he disappeared from where he stood. Footsteps sounded nearby. Chun Sansi turned to see Lord Taishan returning with a freshly filled wine gourd. So, have you practiced enough? He smacked his lips. If you're almost done, get lost. I don't have that much free time to teach you. Come here less often when you're free. Disciple understands. Chun Sansi didn't say much more, but this time he returned in disguise. Other than his master and senior sister, no one else should know. Moreover, this place is still within the Qingshu sect, and without someone leading the way it would be hard to sneak in. Chun Sansi looked at Lord Taishan, who totally ignored the aftermath of the battle here and lazily headed into the mountains. Master! He silently repeated, Master! Several hundred miles away in the wilderness, Wang Shouzhua stood among the trees. About 5 zhang in front of him, the void suddenly ripped open, and 2 figures floated out of it. Looks like... He looked at the injured female cultivator, his white brow slightly raised, and said somewhat surprisedly, It didn't work? Shouldn't have. Zhang Huiqing is not at the sect, even if Su Taisu successfully passed the nascent soul tribulation. Killing a golden core in front of him with the moving ruler shouldn't be difficult, right? Senior brother. Rong Rojuan bit her silver tooth. Su Taisu is mid-stage nascent soul. What did you say? Hearing this, Wang Shouzhua almost doubted his ears. He's the same as Zhang Huiqing? Absolutely true, Master Dongwei said. I saw it with my own eyes. 2 people from one sect, both reaching nascent soul. Wang Shouzhua's expression was unusual, clearly uneasy. There must be something going on in the Qingshu sect. Without a doubt. Rong Rojuan said. I've investigated him. He's been in the Qingshu sect for many years but has always been unremarkable in terms of realm. Even the elders of various peaks have complained about him for occupying too many resources. Looking back now, it's as if Zhang Huiqing knew Su Taisu would be like him. Senior brother, something is wrong with the Qingshu sect. Zhang Huiqing is very likely plotting something, and we must be cautious. I understand. Wang Shoujua's tone shifted. How about Mu Chutai? Have you investigated him? I have. Rong Rojuan replied. From the memory extracted by the soul-searching technique, he doesn't seem to have any direct connection with Jiang Xie. He merely admires her and wants to take her as a disciple. To me, that Mu Chutai doesn't seem to be lying. Master Dongwei analyzed. Firstly, the soul-searching technique is the most reliable form of inquiry. Not only can it extract memories, but it can also discern the true thoughts of the other party's heart, making it nearly impossible to hide anything. Secondly, this Mu Chutai was willing to sell out his disciple without hesitation to save his life. If Su Taisu hadn't arrived in time, that Chun kid would have surely died. Such behavior would disgrace even those of the demon path. What kind of character could someone like him have? Rong Rojuan agreed. I also think that someone who can give up a lover and diminish their root bone just to survive wouldn't lie to protect someone else. Moreover, he's only at the chi refinement stage, so it's impossible for him to hide anything from us. Nonetheless, continue the investigation. The issue of the demon seed is of great importance. It's better to kill mistakenly than let one slip away. Wang Shoujua said gravely. Inform me immediately if there's any news about Jiang Xie. Good. Rong Rojuan paused. What about the Qingshu sect? I'll make arrangements myself here. Wang Shoujua looked to the side. Taoist Dongwei. How is it using the demon path body I helped you with? Very well. In just a few years, I can recover to the nascent soul realm. Master Dongwei cupped his hands and said, I must thank Master Wang for his assistance in this matter. Haha. No need to be courteous. Wang Shoujua stroked his beard. I've heard about a heavenly spirit root descendant in your clan, Taoist Dongwei. I happen to be preparing to accept a true inheritor disciple. I wonder if you think it's disgraceful. Master Wang, really? It would be his fortune from a previous life to be accepted under the sect leader's tutelage. Master Dongwei understood the other's meaning and quickly promised. I myself am hopeless for divinity transformation. This old life will follow Master Wang's orders in the future. All right, you may go now. Wang Shoujua waved his sleeve. I need to go see someone. Qingshu sect. Haoshan Cliff of Reflection. This place is used within the sect to punish disciples who have erred. At the base of the cliff, the perpetually lingering ice mist is stained dark red. 72 bronze pillars inscribed with forbidden curses penetrate the rock layers, forming an inverted cage in the abyss. On one of the copper pillars, Elder Xue Jingfeng's limbs are pierced through by red gold chains, the chain ends extending into a boiling blood pool, each struggle stirring magma-like dark red ripples. His long gray-white hair clings like iron chains, hanging down, his whole body soaked in blood, with no undamaged flesh. Since that incident when Xue Jingfeng injured Jiang Xie, he has been confined here, enduring the punishment of fire branding. Buzz! Suddenly, the iron chains on the bronze pillar began retreating one by one, and Xue Jingfeng's rotting skin and flesh finally separated from the copper pillar. He knelt down, gasping heavily, and spoke towards the entrance of the Cliff of Reflection without lifting his head. Wasn't it supposed to be 4 years of fire branding? How come it ended early? Qingshu sect master Xuanqing Zhenren walked over slowly. Nephew, you have suffered. My suffering is not important. Xue Jingfeng looked at the other. But uncle, you absolutely must not tolerate Zhang Huiqing anymore. Huiqing is correct. Xuanqing Zhenren said. Su Taisu directly advanced to the mid-stage nascent soul. The resources over the years haven't gone to waste. You must have heard about this. But Jiang Xie has indeed become a fallen demon. Xue Jingfeng stood up. The scenes witnessed by those in the Luoshao Immortal Palace are identical to what my family member Xian Rong saw. How could it possibly be some sword demon in the secret realm? It's just a story they fabricated to deceive others. Doesn't this prove that I wasn't lying? Xuanqing Zhenren pondered. This matter is indeed very peculiar. Uncle, the members of the Three Heavens sect have been searching my Qingshu sect for years. I suspect they're after something inside Jiang Xie's body. Xue Jingfeng grabbed the sect master's sleeve. If we continue letting Zhang Huiqing act recklessly, my Qingshu sect might face extermination. He looked at the other's complexion, furrowing his brows. Uncle, are you still unwilling to stand up? It's not that I don't care. Xuanqing Zhenren paused, speaking with heartfelt sincerity. But because I believe in the choice made by your former master, my elder brother. Su Taisu's direct advancement to the nascent soul also confirms this. Jingfeng, I know Xianrong died at Jiang Xie's hands, and you're heartbroken, but for the greater good, I hope you can wait a bit longer. Furthermore, now that the Three Heavens sect is everywhere searching for Jiang Xie, it's better that they take action. Isn't it? So, you shouldn't meddle anymore. He took out a bottle of elixir pills. The elixirs inside can help you break through to the golden core middle stage. I hope you practice supreme forgetting emotions and devote yourself to cultivation. After speaking, Xuanqing Zhenren shook his head and turned to leave. Xue Jingfeng looked at the porcelain bottle, crushed it to pieces, and then directly left the sect, arriving in the wilderness several hundred li away. Ha! Taoist Xue has considerable talent, Wang Shouzhua said calmly. With enough resources, you might be able to condense a nascent soul someday. No need to say more. I'm willing to assist Master Wang. Xue Jingfeng said, there's definitely something other than a sword demon inside Jiang Xie. Oh! Wang Shouzhua's eyes lit up. Are you this certain? I can stake my life on it. Xue Jingfeng revealed everything. Besides, within the Qingshu sect, there are 3 hidden cave heaven-blessed lands, known only to the core elders of the sect. One of these cave heavens is held by Zhang Huiqing, another by Su Taisu, and the last one by Baihua Valley's Yuling, Skywater Continent, Guangren Dao, Frontier Great Wall of Demon Suppression. Enemy attack! Enemy attack! Signal fires rose in all directions. War horses neighed. In the distant wilderness, a vast army of blood demons launched a new wave of attacks toward the Great Wall. From a bird's-eye view, it resembled a scarlet tsunami trying to engulf the magnificent wall. Formation! Dan Chuanyu, stationed at the midpoint, shouted loudly, Qiankuan Earth! Hold on! Qi Cheng, in a crimson robe, quietly appeared behind. General Shan, arrange the Gale Heavenly Gang formation. Shao Prime Minister? Dan Chuanyu looked back. Since Wulong passed away, Your Majesty appointed Qi Cheng as the new Prime Minister, conferring upon him the title of 5th grade Immortal Virtue General, becoming the only 5th grade Immortal General among the immortal officials of Skywall City, and granting him full command over both the upper and lower ranks of the cultivators in Skywall City, his standing not inferior to Wulong. In the court, especially in Skywall City, many have engaged in discussions. For purely based on realm, Chu Lingchuan, who had already completed core formation, was the highest among the immortal officials. Additionally, Zinan, Deng Wuchang, and others were also about to reach core formation. Apart from that, experienced generals like Wang Ji and Yi Fengxiu were no slouches in martial arts realm either. Among the younger generation, Zhou Weijin was exceptionally gifted, and core formation was just a matter of time. Those slightly inferior, like Bai Zongshu, Jiang Jin, and Nan Xing, were not less cultivated than Qi Cheng. In any case, being the only 5th grade immortal general and champion leader of Skywall City shouldn't fall to Qi Cheng. Remember, the rank's priority wasn't merely a superficial title, but involved prioritization in cultivation resources. Master Shao Qi, isn't this inappropriate? Chu Lingchuan came forward. Currently, considering the terrain, the best to use is the Earth Attribute Array. Qi Cheng simply stated, in a moment, the wind will rise. Oh! Chu Lingchuan was surprised. How does Master Shao Qi know? How certain are you? Array formation takes time. If we wait until after the armies clash to change, it will be too late. Daoist Chu. Chi Cheng calmly replied, if you don't execute the order immediately, then it truly will be too late. Indeed, Daoist Chu. Dan Chuanyu persuaded. Military orders are as unwavering as a mountain. We should act according to the Shao Prime Minister's intent. Seeing the blood demon army approaching closer to the city walls, Chu Lingchuan stopped arguing and cried out, formation! Gale Heavenly Gang formation! With the order given, military flags replaced array flags, soldiers hustled back and forth, altering the formation's positioning. At this moment, the world transformed. On the plain where the great wall of demon suppression stood, a fierce gale suddenly swept across. Chu Lingchuan looked at Chi Cheng, whose expression remained unchanged, and his pupils revealed surprise. It seems Master Shao Qi has learned some remarkable divine skills. Immortal official Chu might have arrived late and is unaware of some things. Dan Chuanyu informed, the late Prime Minister Su Wenkai knew astronomy above and geography below. As his successor, predicting some heavenly phenomena is naturally not surprising. Wind's world, enveloping the world in an instant. In the howling gale, the armor of the great Han soldiers simultaneously lit up with a green glow, and runes appeared out of nowhere, like the creations of heaven and earth, masterpieces of godly craftsmanship. Their crossbows and weapons also simultaneously received the empowerment of dark power. Release the arrows. As the array flags dropped, 10,000 arrows fired. The dense arrows, enshrouded in green light and augmented by the gale. Each arrow descended like a meteor, obliterating swathes of the blood demon army. The clash began. The arrows, empowered by the heavenly gang evil wind, were astonishingly powerful, but they couldn't withstand the blood demon army's overwhelming tide, eventually reaching the wall, aided by the magic cloud ladder to scale it. Both sides then engaged in more brutal melee combat. Zhou Weizhen stood aloft, his flying sword divided into many, turning into waves of sword light slicing through the blood demon army, continuously reaping blood demon lives, until a towering figure appeared on the battlefield. This person stood over 10 feet tall, clad in bright red armor. As he moved, the earth trembled, resembling an ironclad chariot, charging and rampaging through the battlefield. Underneath his helmet was a crimson face with protruding fangs, purple pupils, and horns growing atop his head. Ancient Demon Clan, Golden Core Cultivator. Upon reaching the wall, the ancient demon leaped up to the wall, swinging a heaven-opening giant axe directly at Zhou Weizhen. Buzz! Zhou Weizhen hastily recalled his flying sword to his front. But as he was still in the Foundation Establishment realm, he was no match for a Golden Core Cultivator. The ancient demon extended his left hand, grasping the flying sword barehanded, then hurled it forward alongside the war axe. Chu Lingchuan arrived in time, standing before Zhou Weizhen, and released his life-bound flying sword, sweeping toward the ancient demon. Sword and axe collided. After a brief standoff, Chu Lingchuan was sent flying backward, crashing through several crossbow carts before stabilizing on one knee with difficulty. I've long heard that the bodies of ancient demon cultivators are as robust as martial cultivators. It turns out to be true. Since you know, why not willingly die? The ancient demon roared, the axe distorting the air, and cleaved again with ferocity. At this moment, the surrounding temperature abruptly became scorching, swiftly turning the air into a furnace. Looking up, a fire dragon descended from beyond the firmament, coloring the entire sky red. The ancient demon quickly redirected the giant axe to slash diagonally at the massive dragon head surging toward him. Boom! The giant axe struck the dragon head instantly. Waves of heat rippled out, almost melting the runed stone slabs of the Great Wall. The armor on the ancient demon twisted at a speed visible to the naked eye. Unable to see his opponent, his vision was completely swallowed by flames. Submerged in the burning fire, he could clearly feel the mana within him rapidly depleting. Soon, he couldn't withstand the fire dragon, and could only watch helplessly as the dragon head snapped the battle axe before opening its enormous mouth to swallow him completely. Before his eyes, everything went black, and he lost consciousness. Boom! In the view of others, they saw only a fire dragon descending from the sky, directly devouring the ancient demon warrior. When the flames cleared, they saw a figure in white robes standing with a spear, while the ancient demon, along with his armor, had turned into charcoal. "Your Majesty!" The nearby generals were invigorated by this sight. "The Majesty has come!" Chun Sansi rose into the sky again, carrying overwhelming flames, and crashed directly within the densely packed blood demon army outside the walls. He released the Xianling's 6 arms, each movement reaping the lives of hundreds of blood demons. "I thought you were a good person." A raspy voice suddenly rang out amidst the blood demons. Chun Sansi turned his head to see a blood demon transformed from a woman. A sharp-toothed little blood demon sat on her back. They were the mother and daughter who had once perished by suicide in a village on Si Shuedao. "Whether I'm a good person is hard to say," Chun Sansi replied, "but at least I shouldn't be considered a villain." "You say you're not a villain?" The woman's face twisted with rage. "Then why are you here, helping those high and mighty cultivators? As long as they're alive, we can never find peace. I'm sorry. I cannot let you endanger more innocent people." Chun Sansi struck decisively, incinerating the mother and son into ashes. He soared into the sky again, slowly drawing the 100 deer-chasing moonbow. A throng of split-core cicadas emerged from his embrace, and then, driven by the bowstring, descended like a meteor shower onto the blood demon army. Boom! Each split-core cicada contained a tiny golden core, and with the bow and arrow enhancement, each self-detonation was equivalent to the strike of a golden core cultivator. Chun Sansi continuously drew the bow and shot arrows, single-handedly blocking the blood demon army of tens of thousands outside the Great Wall. The Great Han soldiers, morale vastly boosted, fought the blood demon army like ferocious beasts. The battle raged until dusk when the blood demon army sounded the retreat. Outside the Great Wall, corpses had long piled into mountains. In this battle, the blood demon army lost a total of 100,000, and over 10,000 Great Han soldiers were killed or wounded. Moreover, this was despite the absence of high-level cultivators behind enemy lines. Meaning, just probing the Great Wall's defensive power, the demon realm expended 100,000 blood demons, clearly treating them as expendables. After all, creating blood demons costs them nothing, imposing no burden whatsoever. But Great Han soldiers were painstakingly trained daily. Losing 10,000 may seem insignificant among a million-man army, but is heart-wrenching. "Clean the battlefield," Chun Sansi ordered Deng Feng next to him. A group of soldiers poured out of the city to search the battlefield for usable magic artifacts. "Many thanks to Senior Chiu for saving us." On the walls, Zhou Weijin clasped his fists toward Chu Lingchuan. "No need for thanks." Chu Lingchuan squinted his eyes. "Not good. Someone's attacking again." Buzz! In the distance, a purple streak ripped through the void, carrying overwhelming evil qi as it shot toward Tianwu. "Protect His Majesty," Dongfang Jingxing shouted. But as he spoke, he realized nobody in the court could truly help His Majesty, breaking out in a cold sweat. Chun Sansi watched the streak and sensed it held nothing particularly powerful. He didn't dodge. Raising his hand, he stopped the purple light and found it was a long spear, an immortal-grade Xian iron weapon.
Li Quan Spa.
Seeing the familiar old partner, memories of decades ago surfaced in Chan Sansi's mind. On Longjusu Mountain, he'd once tossed the Li Quan spear into a spatial rift. And behind the rift was an ancient demon cultivator. The spear returned. Chun Lei. A vague figure appeared at the sky's edge, voice resonating across the battlefield. "I am the young master of the ancient demon Sui Li clan, here to return my father's belongings to you." "Ha ha," Chun Sansi said calmly. "Then please thank your father on my behalf, young Master Sui Li." "My father has another message," young Master Sui Li said. "He hopes Tianwu You can bring the prayer bead to join the ancient demon clan. We can promise to instill ancient demon true blood in you, letting your Chen family become the 10th major clan among us. Otherwise, this is not the Eastern continent. There is no turtle shell to ensure your safety. Young Master Sui Li, it's better to avoid threats. Chen Sanxi's face remained calm. Too many wish to kill me, you're probably not top of the list. It seems Tianwu prefers to meet on the battlefield rather than commit, so see you there. Leaving those harsh words, young Master Sui Li vanished. The battlefield returned to tranquility. Chen Sanxi didn't linger and returned to the Jilin military camp, then ordered all Golden Core cultivators, as well as Great Han's high-level generals, to gather here to discuss the upcoming border warfare. Su Wen. He almost instinctively wanted to call out the old scholar's name. Your Majesty. Qi Cheng willingly held up the map. This is the situation of our and enemy forces. Currently, Great Han's 3 million troops are distributed across the Heavenly Water Continent's Great Wall regions. With Guangrendao as the main force, the rest cooperate with various sects against the enemy. Let's put that aside for now. Looking at Guangrendao alone, our army numbers 1 million, Demon Path at least double. A cultivator stationed here includes the ancient Demon Sui Li clan's young master and several outer elders of the Demon Path's 3 Heavens sect. They camp around Bone-Eroding Ridge, defended by a 4th-rank mountain protection array. And according to intelligence, the ancient demon clan might deploy nascent soul cultivators. The rest are currently unclear. Looking at the map, numerous strategies surfaced in Chen Sanxi's mind, but most were unfeasible. Because this place differs from past mortal realms. Everyone can fly and tunnel through the earth, and his raw power doesn't suffice to crush the enemy. So the best strategy is to remain immovable, observing and waiting. Wang Ji, receive your orders. Chen Sanxi began issuing commands. Organizing accordingly ensured no gaps in defense. Then, the 2 armies settled into a long standoff. In the blink of an eye, 6 months passed. Besides being stationed, Chen Sanxi seized time to cultivate using the remaining heavenly repairing stone spirit liquid. Among the 3 acupoints, only the Central Palace acupoint remained unopened. The Central Palace acupoint, positioned between the Upper Dantian and Jade Pillow Pass, above the Yang Residence acupoint, is key to unifying divine intent and consciousness in the void. Opening this acupoint can blend divine intent, correct true qi, and radiate divine light all over. When the last bit of spiritual liquid potency was consumed, his Central Palace acupoint opened successfully. Cultivation technique. Dragon scripture. Glazed gold body realm. Middle stage. Progress. 0/600. Utility. Soul refining true fire. Soul refining true fire. Enhances divine sense. Understanding abnormal fire. During confrontation. Can burn the enemy's divine sense and soul. The intensity increases with personal divine sense enhancement. Burning divine sense. In cultivator battles, attacks on divine sense are often the trickiest, extremely hard to defend against, and if struck, consequences are usually severe. Moreover, Chen Sanxi, having practiced various skills, possessed divine sense far surpassing peers, reaching golden core perfection, slightly below nascent soul cultivators. With mastery of soul refining true fire, he no longer feared late-stage golden core cultivators. Chen Sanxi adjusted his true power, circulating the true qi of the glazed 5 viscera, transforming his physical body into a golden divine statue. Unlike before, his golden body now has a faint aura surrounding it, resembling auspicious light protecting his body. This is the middle stage of the glazed gold body realm compared to the changes at the early stage. If he reaches the late stage, martial art runes will naturally appear on his body. Now, his immortal and martial arts have both reached the middle stage of the 3rd realm. If you look ahead, he can already start preparing for the condensation of his nascent soul. Chen Sanxi put away the long spear, took materials out of the storage bag, and began to study the path of array formations. The heaven and earth strange gate, left by the horse herder, has always allowed cultivation to reach the rank of a 5th-rank array master, corresponding to the incarnation realm. It also recorded a variety of ancient formations, among which is the formation given to him by Su Taisu. This formation is named Tai-E Chaos Formation, and its purpose is to overcome tribulations, specifically, Divinity Transformation Tribulation. Upon seeing this, Chun Sansi's pupils trembled. Su Taisu wants him to help repair the array plate to aim for Divinity Transformation. But he has just crossed into the mid-stage nascent soul. Theoretically, even if he has the qualification, it should take hundreds of years of accumulation and cultivation. Is it too early to prepare now? Of course, it can't be ruled out that others are just accustomed to planning ahead. At Chun Sansi's current level, he definitely can't repair the Tai-E Chaos Formation. So he focused his efforts on the destructive spirit array. He took out the spiritual pearl, array flag, and talisman pen, and began to concentrate on drawing runes. In a daze, Chun Sansi seemed to enter another world. This realm is shrouded in chaos, with only scattered laws wandering in the void. He wielded the talisman pen, using divine sense as ink, sketching the disordered law runes and refining heaven and earth spiritual power. Every stroke consumed a substantial amount of spirit, especially the destructive spirit array, an ancient formation capable of destroying spirit veins, was extraordinarily difficult. Every time he reached 30% completion, Chun Sansi would experience severe headaches, forcing him to stop drawing. After several dozen repetitions, 2 months passed, and he finally grasped the key, completing the drawing in one go, and infused the law runes into the spiritual pearl. The azure spiritual pearl resembled seawater, with mysterious ancient runes flowing on its surface. The destructive spirit array, successfully crafted. Skill. Formation, 3rd rank. Progress, 1512/2000. Chun Sansi exhaled deeply and consumed several elixir pills to restore his spirit. This destructive spirit array was truly challenging to craft. With this, it still relied on the power of the spiritual pearl. What he actually did was just threading the needle. No matter what, he finally dealt with the destructive spirit array, and in the future within the divine continent, signs of ancestor vein awakening can be immediately strangled in the cradle. Removing the array materials, Chun Sansi set up the alchemy furnace in the tent. Previously in Luoshao Immortal Palace, he obtained many ancient pill recipes, including recipes targeting the middle stage of the 3rd realm cultivators. These are the Embrace Yuan Enriched Divine and Dragon Tiger Harmony Powder. Compared to the destructive spirit array, refining elixir pills was much easier for Chun Sansi. With the 1000 Threads fire control skill aiding him, he successfully refined 2 types of elixir pills in just a few days. Skill. Alchemy, 3rd rank. Progress, 1256/2000. All preparations complete. Chun Sansi planned to break through both the immortal path and martial arts to the late stage of the 3rd realm within 10 years. But before breaking through to the nascent soul, he still needed to resolve the immediate trouble. This war. Who knows how long this stalemate will last? Great Han's 300,000 soldiers consuming countless grains and forage every day, especially grains, which need to be transported from the distant Great Han. The war in the cultivation world often lasts several or even decades. No matter how strong Great Han's national power is, it can't afford to be depleted. Thus, Chun Sansi issued an edict in the early stage of the 29th year of Tianwu, ordering the army to cultivate fields on the spot, establish garrisons, to minimize consumption. In a flash, another 4 years passed. Time has come to the 33rd year of Tianwu. Over the years, the situation remained unchanged, with probing city assaults every few tens of days. For years are merely several instances of seclusion for cultivators, but for mortals it's vastly different. Some soldiers were only 16 when they came, but they have noticeably matured. Some even got married and had children, their kids already fetching soy sauce. It was in this year that the still situation finally changed. Your Majesty! Deng Wuchang rushed into the tent. Night Watch from the front reports that within 20 days, at least 3 nascent soul cultivators from the demon path and numerous sect disciples will come to assist. Upon hearing this, Several supporting cultivators from the Golden Core sect in the tent showed fearful expressions. Qi Cheng. Chun Sansi looked at the map, speaking without raising his head. What do you think? In response to your majesty. Qi Cheng stood up and spoke confidently. Just half a year ago, Ancient Demon Clan dispatched many late-stage nascent soul great cultivators to launch a fierce attack on Cypress Dao. The Three Heavens sect of Skywater Continent sent numerous nascent souls to confront them, thus stalling a large number of main force cultivators. At this time, suddenly increasing troops here. Clearly, they intend to use Guangren Dao as a breakthrough to cut a path through the Great Wall of demon slaying. At this critical moment, I believe we should immediately send a message to Wang Shouzhua, the sect leader responsible for overseeing the Great Wall of demon slaying, to have him dispatch nascent soul cultivators to help. Do as you said. Chun Sansi accepted the suggestion. 5 days later, they received a response. The Heavenly Sword sect agreed to send reinforcements, ordering the entire Qingshu sect to come to Guangren Dao. Additionally, 3 early-stage nascent soul cultivators were drawn from other nascent soul sects to assist. Qingshu sect. Upon receiving the news, Chun Sansi fell into contemplation. His past impersonation of Lu Shengji, along with his senior sister Jiang Xie's involvement, undoubtedly implicated Qingshu sect. Yet, up to now, the Three Heavens sect hadn't mentioned this at all. Moreover, sending the entire Qingshu sect at this time to tie them with the Great Han. This indicates that the people of the Three Heavens sect likely already confirmed his connection with Qingshu sect, but due to the necessity of the Great Han in the righteous versus demonic battle, they couldn't directly turn against them. Such arrangements are also considered a warning to him. Furthermore, although Qingshu sect will leave its nest completely to assist, Zhang Huiqing and Su Taisu will be excluded. The reason given from above is that those dispatched by the demon path to Guangren Dao are only early-stage nascent soul cultivators. If Zhang Huiqing and others are forcibly moved from the front lines, it will only be a waste of advanced cultivators, akin to using a bull to kill a chicken. Therefore, the 3 nascent souls coming to assist are all in the early stages, and they are elders from Wanxiang sect, Qingshan Mountain, and Phantom Sea Pavilion. Meanwhile, as they awaited the arrival of reinforcements, the demon path had already made new moves. Standing on the Great Wall, one could see evil chi intermittently rising from the direction of the demon path station troops. They are forming an array. Chun Sansi looked at the young immortal official beside him. It's most likely aimed at the demon-suppressing Great Wall. Due to the existence of the Great Wall's restriction, the demon path cultivator's army cannot bypass the wall and must clash head-on with the city protection array. An undoubtedly foolish choice. The best way to break the Great Wall is to use formations to destroy the restriction of the demon-suppressing Great Wall. I see. Qi Cheng pondered this notion. Little Chengzi, while you cultivate, also delve deeply into formations. Chun Sansi said, handing a copy of the Heaven and Earth Strange Gate to Qi Cheng. 5th rank inheritance. Qi Cheng understood its value and quickly bowed deeply. Your Majesty, thank you. Chun Sansi suddenly asked, have you heard of Han Xian? Han Xian? Qi Cheng was taken aback. I apologize. I've never heard of such a figure. In the Great Thousand World, there once existed a great Qin, and Han Xian was a ranger. Chun Sansi briefly recounted the story of this military immortal. After listening, Qi Cheng realized the implication from the emperor. This meant he was being likened to Han Xian of Immortal Han. Terrified and honored, he replied, Your Majesty, be assured, Qi Cheng will live up to the expectations. Although Chun Sansi spent most of his time cultivating, it didn't mean he was completely oblivious to court affairs. The Genie Guard is not to be underestimated. Due to Qi Cheng's inadequate qualifications, ascending directly as the champion leader of Skywall City inevitably caused dissatisfaction among many. Especially the current first-place holder Chu Lingchuan and a few of his confidants were instigating issues behind the scenes. However, this is also a prime time for tempering one's character. If Qi Cheng can prove himself, he'll undoubtedly gain great prestige. All right. Chun Sansi patted his shoulder. Keep an eye on things here, and report any updates promptly. I need to go pick someone up. An hour later, luminous escapers appeared from afar, landing in the Great Han's military camp. The newcomers were 2 men and 1 woman, 3 nascent soul cultivators. They were, respectively, Qingshan Mountains Xiao Paksu, Phantom Sea Pavilions Shangguan Yunji, Wanxiang Sec's Feng Qingyan, Taoist Tianwu. I've long admired your name, a pleasure indeed. Wanxiang Sec's Feng Qingyan, a lean old man, cheerfully initiated a greeting. Phantom Sea Pavilions Shangguan Yunji, with an immortal-like demeanor, smiled slightly as a courtesy. As for Qingshan Mountains Xiao Paksu, he exuded righteousness and was quite stern in demeanor. He approached and said in a deep voice, "We have been sent by Holy Sect to combat Demon Path. Let's hope Taoist Tianwu overlooks past grievances and unites against a common enemy." To elaborate, Qingshan Mountain and Chun Sansi indeed had animosity. Accurately speaking, it was with his master. In the past at Lingnan Town, Sun Xiangzong attempted a sealing, which Qingshan Mountain's ancestor failed to hinder, losing a rare body externalization in the process. Cultivators in the cultivation world always value cause and effect. Since Chun Sansi inherited Sun Xiangzong's teachings, he naturally had to accept this karmic consequence. He calmly responded, "Naturally, every decision must prioritize the bigger picture." Amid their conversation, a swarm of flying boats appeared in the sky, carrying all the disciples of the Qingshu sect, led by sect leader Xian Chang Zhenren. "Oh, are all you Taoists here?" Xian Chang Zhenren arrived, gesturing with his horsetail whisk. "Mr. Xiao, it's been a while. The last time we met was 100 years ago. Back then you were at the late stage of core formation, and you're still at the late stage now." Xiao Paksu coldly retorted, "Considering your age, you should be preparing for your burial at which place?" Unlike his polite demeanor with Tianwu, he showed no friendly attitude upon meeting the Qingshu sect leader. "Mr. Xiao, don't speak like that. I genuinely have it planned." Despite facing ridicule about nearing the end of his lifespan, Xian Chang Zhenren wasn't angered but stroked his beard. "It'll be Danxia Mountain. What do you think?" Danxia Mountain, a 4th-rank spiritual vein. It was also the source of conflict between 2 sects. Qingshu sect had 2 mid-stage nascent soul cultivators, solidifying its status as a bona fide nascent soul sect. According to regulations of the Sky-Water continent, they could choose any 4th-rank spiritual vein as the new location for their sect. For millennia, the heavenly water spirit veins had long been divided. The remaining 4th-rank spiritual veins were at Danxia Mountain. Though Danxia Mountain was technically unclaimed, Qingshan Mountain and other sects had been using it. Over years of development, they had become inseparable from it. Therefore, having to return it now understandably fostered resentment. "Want to be buried at Danxia Mountain?" Xiao Paksu sneered. "It can be done, but it's uncertain if Xianchang Taoist will live to see it." All right. Feng Qingyan stepped in to mediate. "Didn't we just talk about uniting against the demon path? How quickly did you start arguing again? And about Danxia Mountain, Mr. Xiao, this is your fault. We initially occupied it. How can we not return it? Xianchang Taoist, you can rest assured. We at Wanxiang sect have moved out from the 12 peaks we occupied, and once the battle ends, your sect can move in directly." "Ha. Taoist Feng knows reason," Xian Chang Zhenren sarcastically remarked. "Unlike someone who, instead of cultivating a nascent soul, cultivated a gigantic baby. You." Xiao Paksu glared angrily. Seeing the two continue to argue, Chun Sansi interjected. "Now that all you Taoists have arrived, you should familiarize yourselves with Guangren Dao's environment first. Little Bamboo, take the elders to the front line." He Taoist Tianwu. After the nascent soul cultivators left, Xian Chang Zhenren approached. "I wonder where our sect disciple Jiang Xie is now? Sword demon takeover. Whereabouts unknown." Chen Sansi briefly replied. "All right then." Xian Chang Zhenren didn't inquire further. "Taoist Tianwu, if you need help in the future, speak directly. There's no need to disguise as someone else." "In that case, I thank the elder." Chun Sansi reciprocated the sincerity. "Your sect is also mine to some extent. If the juniors can assist in anything later, I will spare no effort. Xian Chang Jinren nodded, walking past him. Behind him, 9 returned Jinren murmured, Master Uncle, why are you so courteous to him? His involvement with our sect led to everyone believing we're on the same side as the Han court, making things terrible for us. Since you also know it's impossible to sever ties, why not let it take its course? Mistress, after watching Xian Chang depart, Chun Sansi transmitted to Yu Ling, Senior Sister Xie is also here. Do you want to meet her? The female blind person had a special circumstance. According to his wishes, she should have been hiding in the eastern continent. But the demon seed within his senior sister seemed to require something, compelling her to join the battle. Thus, Chun Sansi disguised the blind woman, blending her among the female cultivators in Skywall City. They all wore veils and were now part of the army. Inside the tent, Master Yu Ling saw her disciple, Shi Yu. She eagerly approached. How are you? Did the demon seed develop self-awareness? What about your body? She didn't possess me. She's afraid. Jiang Xia calmly said. She's afraid of possessing me and finding no place to hide afterward. Senior sister. Chun Sansi asked, what is the true intention of the demon seed's action this time? She didn't say. Jiang Xie shook her head. Chun Sansi recalled the earlier experiences at the Luo Shao Immortal Palace, always feeling that Madman might cause trouble again. But the matter had come to this. They couldn't stop it and could only let nature take its course. Don't block me. Get out of the way. While they were talking, a commotion suddenly broke out outside. Immediately, a familiar sound echoed as a young Taoist named 16 was kicked in. I'm going in today. Who dares to stop me? It was none other than Lord Taishan. This time, the Qingshu sect left only 1 elder and over 100 disciples to guard the mountain, with the rest leaving. I'll go have a look. Chun Sansi walked out of the tent. He saw Mu Chutai attempting to force his way in but being stopped. You dare to stop me? Lord Taishan grabbed the eunuch's collar. Do you know who I am? Ask your emperor if he dares not to respect me. Let everyone step aside. Chun Sansi dismissed the crowd. Kid. Mu Chutai walked up. How's it going? Has Jiang arrived? Master. Chun Sansi looked at him and asked, weren't you the one who said you didn't care about the senior sister's survival? Yeah. But she didn't die, did she? Lord Taishan said matter-of-factly. Since she didn't die, she's still the most suitable heir. Move aside and let me in. Master, the senior sister didn't come. Chun Sansi lowered his head and cupped his fists, blocking the way. Didn't come? Mu Chutai muttered. So why did Yu Ling come here? Move aside. Let me see. Master. Chun Sansi didn't step aside. The senior sister is really not here. What do you mean by this? Mu Chutai angrily said. Even if she's not here, can't Master go in for a look? Do you have no regard for your teacher? Shansher. The voice of the mistress came from inside the tent. Focus on your own tasks and let him in. At this moment, Chun Sansi noticed some anomaly in the distance, so he stopped blocking, allowed the other to enter, and went to check the situation at the Great Wall. Mu Chutai stormed into the tent in just a few steps, scanning around but only seeing Yu Ling alone. Mu. Master Yu Ling coldly said, who are you looking for? Hee. Facing the woman, Lord Taishan's attitude was much more relaxed. Looking for Jiang. I've come up with a mental method for her that would be beneficial. Does my disciple need you to teach her? Master Yu Ling fiercely said. Show up in front of me less. It's irritating. Hiss. Lord Taishan felt a bit disgraced. Don't you think that's a bit too much? Mu. Master Yu Ling asked. Do you still retain memories concerning Shiyu? Mu Chutai remained silent. Oh, impressive. Master Yu Ling mocked. A qi refining cultivator has the ability to hide the truth under a great cultivator's soul-searching technique. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Lord Taishan grinned with some pride. Although the person is ruined, I still have some tricks. You know it's a trick? Master Yu Ling suddenly got angry and raised her hand to strike from the void, with the mana pressure of a golden core cultivator crashing down. Mu Chutai couldn't withstand it and kneeled heavily, supporting himself with both hands, nearly coughing up blood. "Junior sister," he gasped for breath. "What are you doing?" "Mu Chutai, this kneeling is not for me but for Qin Yao." Master Yu Ling looked down at the drunkard, gradually increasing the mana pressure. "Do you think, by retaining the memories, silently watching Shiyu makes others feel your fatherly love like a mountain? Wrong. This only makes Shiyu feel more you are a coward. If you truly cared about them as mother and daughter, would you betray Qin Yao and live alone until now? Do you know what kind of torment Qin Yao has endured all these years confined in Kunlun Purgatory? Day and night. A few years ago, I managed to ask someone to take me to see her, but the first thing she asked when she saw me was, 'Is Taishan doing well?' But what about you? What have you been doing all these years? Drinking? Frequenting brothels? Qin Yao truly was blind to follow such a bastard like you. Otherwise, Lord Taishan couldn't hold on, lying on the ground and wailing for mercy. 'What else could I do?' charged Kungsu. 'Junior sister, we can't win. Don't make it hard for me. Can't win, so don't fight? You!' Master Yu Ling was halfway through her accusation but suddenly lost her strength, seeming completely disappointed, only sneering to herself. 'Forget it. What am I saying to someone cowardly like you? Who doesn't fear death in the world?' Mu Chutai struggled to speak. 'Moreover, I survived just to watch Shiyu grow up safely, and then entrust her to reliable hands. You dare say that?' Master Yu Ling waved her hand. A pink light shot out from her sleeve, transforming into a flying sword hovering over Lord Taishan's head. Instantly, Sword Chi soared into the sky. Lord Taishan could feel that this time, the opponent truly had killing intent. He quickly said, 'Junior sister, are you insane? Really going to kill me? Mu Chutai, do you think I don't know what you've done?' Master Yu Ling squinted her eyes, her tone full of grief and indignation. 'Chen Sansi is the heir of your sworn brother's legacy, now officially your disciple, and also the fiancé engaged to your daughter. How dare you? How dare you betray him? If it weren't for Su Taisu coincidentally breaking through to nascent soul that day, Shanshur would have been harmed by you.' Lord Taishan felt the coolness of the sword tip above his head and swallowed. 'Did that kid tell you?' 'He never mentioned it, but it's easy to guess.' Master Yu Ling said hatefully, 'Even in such circumstances, Shanshur has never turned against you and still respects you deeply. Having a disciple like him is your lifeline in your later years. And yet, not only do you not cherish it, you commit such a disgraceful act.' Lord Taishan explained, 'At that time, the people of the Heavenly Sword Sect searched my soul and already knew about Chen Sansi. If I didn't cooperate, it would be a dead end. He is my disciple, yes, but there's no rule that a master must die for the disciple, is there? Beyond redemption.' Master Yu Ling shook her head. 'Today, for Qin Yao's sake, I will spare your life. But if anything goes wrong with my Shanshur in the future because of you, I will take your sorry life.' Boom! Just as she retracted her sword and prepared to drive away the drunken man, the ground suddenly began to shake violently, as if an earth dragon was turning over. Master Yu Ling transformed into a light of escape and flew out of the tent, seeing in the direction of the Great Wall, beams of blood light shooting skyward. Beacons of smoke rose continuously, as soldiers riding spiritual beasts galloped, their loud shouts echoing across the wilderness. 'Enemy attack! Enemy attack!' On top of the Great Wall, Chen Sansi stood shoulder to shoulder with several nascent soul cultivators, gazing intently at the scene ahead. Beyond the Great Wall, at the end of the barren land, a dense blood mist gathered and churned like a living thing, with millions of blood demon soldiers crawling out of a boiling blood pool. They were pieced together from rotten flesh and broken bones, with spiked bone blades growing at their joints, and a crimson crystal heart pulsing inside their chests, emitting a molten iron-like glow. Each step they took oozed viscous plasma, scorching boiling marks into the scorched earth. Above the blood demon army hovered countless demon path cultivators, floating in formation atop the poison miasma, each holding an array flag as if conducting a grand ritual. Under their summons, the dark red sky was torn by an invisible force, and one after another, ink jade battleships roared up from the rear fissures. These enormous vessels were cast with obsidian and beast bones, their hulls inlaid with reversed-scale pattern bronze armor, and each gap between the scales seeped ghostly blue flames. Even the fleet has been brought out. Elder Feng Qingyan of the Wanxiang sect clucked. It seems the demon path is ready to take serious action against Guangren Dao. Mortal armies require siege weapons and various supplies to fight, and the cultivation world is no different. Among them, various battleships are the most precious. These massive battleships are not only extremely sturdy, but often also possess terrifying offensive capabilities. Compared to the scene from the Demon Path, the Great Han's military equipment looked rather shabby for a while. Most are second-tier battleships, with quite a few third-tier ones. Shangguan Yunji from the Phantom Sea Pavilion said, but they should not be enough to break the restriction defenses of the Great Wall. They're setting up an array. Chen Sansi noticed the clue. Buzz! As soon as the battleships arrayed and hovered in midair, 100-foot-long iron chains fell from underneath them, resonating with an abyss-like humming, like a giant beast grinding its fangs in the clouds, extending to the ground and penetrating deep below. From a distance, these chains looked like the roots of the battleships, closely connected to the earth. The largest 9 nether candle dragon ship unfolded one after another, 6 pairs of bone wings, thousands of black dragon scale-like array flags ejected from between the wing bones, weaving into a sky-covering Rakshasa ghost face totem over the sky. The chain of blood-colored runes fell from the totem's eye sockets, drawing the spiritual energy of the earth vein within a radius of 300 miles into a vacuum. Not good. Xiao Paksu of Qingxian Mountain's expression sank. It's the 9 abyss-devouring evil dragon formation. Oh! Feng Qingyan raised an eyebrow. I am not versed in formation. Could you explain a bit? Xiao Paksu took a deep breath. This formation can draw the evil qi from the slaughter vein to use as energy and convert it into pure mana attacks. Although the accumulation process is slow and the warships carrying the formation are cumbersome, the destructive power is astounding. Even among us, we absolutely cannot rashly withstand it. I've seen this formation at a previous border battlefield. Shangguan Yunji frowned. It can rely on the spirit vein to continuously damage the Great Wall's restriction, but at the same time, the consumption is also extremely significant. If used continuously, it could very likely cause the slaughter vein and spirit vein to degrade or even dry up. This set of formation was designed by a grandmaster of the Demon Path formations, and there shouldn't be many in the entire Demon Path. Yet they've deployed so many to Guangren Dao at once. It seems I need to take back my previous words. The pressure on the defense of the Great Wall will be great. Buzz! While they were discussing, they saw a 9 nether candle dragon ship detach from the main fleet, slowly approaching the Great Wall. On the deck, Demon Path cultivators stood as numerous as dense grass. The leader was 3 nascent souls. One person over 10 feet tall, with red skin and surface covered in crack-like patterns as if burned by flowing lava. On his forehead, 2 pairs of spiral horns grew, and he held a giant axe entwined with a netherworld lock chain. The fissures on the axe blade constantly seeped black-purple poison fire, leaving sulfur-smelling scorch marks in the air. 4th elder of the ancient demon Sui Li clan, Sui Lian. Feng Qingyan stroked his beard and introduced, I have crossed paths with this person. The ancient demon clan are inherently physically formidable, and he has cultivated an entire set of demon path body refinement divine skills. His physical body strength is comparable to a weapon, making him extremely difficult to deal with. To the left of Sui Lian stood an old hag. The old hag looked so decrepit she seemed near death. Her withered body was wrapped in a magic robe sewn from 1,000 sheets of human skin. Her head was a deformed inverted triangle. Her left eye socket was crawling with writhing soul-devouring leeches, and her right eye was inlaid with a blood-colored glass orb made from an infant's skull. She leaned on a wooden staff, from whose top hung a string of infant skulls. Chu San Yuan. Xiao Paksu looked at the old hag with intense disgust. This old demon woman once slaughtered 10,000 infants in Ziluo Dao to forge this 10,000 infant mourning stick in her hand, truly heinous. She excels at divine sense attacks. If things come to blows later, you too must be careful. The last nascent soul was an old acquaintance of Chen Sansi. This person wore a crimson dragon robe and a winged hat, standing with hands behind his back facing the wind, appearing dignified and unlike the demon path crowd. It was the great song Emperor Zhao Rui, personally at the battlefield. Taoist Tianwu. He greeted with a smile. We meet again. How about it? There is still time for you to change your mind. Do you want to cooperate with Great Song to establish a world with order and tranquility? Chen Sansi glanced at the ground, teeming with blood demon troops transformed from mortals, and asked, turning innocent civilians into this, and then using them as consumables, is this the order that Taoist Tianxi believes in? Destruction must precede creation. Zhao Rui replied frankly, these sacrifices are only temporary, and besides, doesn't Taoist Tianwu also need to use mortal armies? Don't you suffer daily losses too? What is the difference between us? Twisting words and forcing logic. Chen Sansi was too lazy to argue. If that's the case, why waste words here? Don't be hasty. If Taoist Tianwu is stubborn, what about the rest of you? Sui Li young master looked at several nascent souls. No matter which of you it is, as long as you immediately turn from darkness to light and join my ancient demon heavenly clan, you'll be guaranteed resources without worry and a clear path on the immortal path. Otherwise, when the city falls, none will be left. Facing the formidable advance of the demon path army, not only were the mortal soldiers of the Great Han intimidated, but disciples from various sects also appeared somewhat apprehensive. Before the battle even began, they were already a step behind in momentum. Too much nonsense, isn't it? Xiao Paksu from Qingxian Mountain stepped forward and reprimanded. If you truly had the ability, would you need to come here to persuade us to surrender? Old Xiao, Elder Sui Lian of the ancient demon clan stepped forward, speaking with flaring nostrils. Last time at Lugu Mountain, you folks managed to escape quickly. This time, this old man must extract your bones to refine artifacts. You old bastard. Stop running your mouth here. Do you really think we're powerless against your thick skin? Xiao Paksu formed a hand seal and drew a flying sword from the void. This flying sword, its blade forged from millennium mystical jade marrow, flowed with liquid gold brilliance throughout, its edge 3 fingers wide, presenting a semi-transparent glassy texture, with golden runes erupting from the spine like golden stars. Spiritual treasure, Xian Guang Golden Cloud Sword. He transformed into a streak of light, piercing straight towards the enemy formation. All right then. Sui Lian stomped, his stance elevating like a soaring mountain, fissures on his skin blazing with molten fire, rugged arms wrapped in black iron chains, with the end connected to a massive axe blade. Spiritual treasure, dragon entwining soul-shattering axe. He swung the iron chains, the soul-shattering axe spinning in the air, forming a huge vortex, churning the sea of clouds, which then coalesced into a blood-colored tornado, smashing heavily forward. Boom! The sword light collided with the giant axe, stirring tsunamic ripples, the few small warships hundreds of feet away barely withstanding, almost capsizing directly. On the main ship, Elder Chu San Yuan did not simply watch, silently disappearing from where she stood. Above, dark clouds churned enigmatically, no mana fluctuations emanating, yet rapidly approaching Xiao Paksu's back. It was at this time, the sound of a zither was heard. Looking towards the source, one sees in front of Shangguan Yunji of the Phantom Sea Pavilion. An ancient zither has inexplicably appeared. The 9-foot-long zither carved from 10,000-year-old Xianbing marrow, its body flowing with starlight-like blue-silver brilliance. 7 zither strings, formed from aurora, each string suspending ice rune crystals corresponding to the Beidou 7 stars. Her pair of fair, slender hands plucking the strings, refracting a kaleidoscope of 7 colored halos, the entire space suddenly condensing into web-like ice cracks, firmly trapping the clouds. Spiritual treasure. Xian Pa Ice Heart Zither. Elder Chu. Shangguan Yunji's face was stern. Elder, where do you intend to go? Hee hee. Chu San Yuan emerged from the clouds, her gaze sinister. Fairy Shangguan, your skin is tender like a baby's. Why not let this old body adorn it for a few days? Shangguan Yunji coldly laughed. If you have the skill, feel free to try and take it. Before she finished speaking, she suddenly strummed the strings, sound waves rampaging like sharp sword qi, overwhelming. Simultaneously, Emperor Tianqi of Great Song sealed his body, merging his soul into a nascent soul corpse puppet, transforming into a gigantic corpse dragon, intending to aid the 2 demon path nascent souls. Just as he arrived in midair, a pitch-black rift appeared before him. This fissure appeared like someone wielded a brush, leaving an ink imprint in the void. A stream of ink sword chi shot out from within. The corpse dragon hastily dodged back, then saw an elderly man dressed simply emerge from the rift. He held a brush the length of an arm. This brush, using 4,000-year-old 9 tribulations soul-nurturing wood as the base material, with dark gold thunder patterns quenched by heavenly thunder flowing between its grain, its handle embedded with jade-like granules. The brush tip, taking high-grade spiritual beasts' front spirit bristles from biming as the primary material, blooms ink lotus shadows layer by layer with each stroke, drawing as if painting in the void. Spiritual treasure. Heavenly Abyss Ink Rhythm Brush. Feng Qingyan of Wanxiang sect blocked the way, smiling at Emperor Tianqi. Little friend Zhao Rui, your opponent is this old man. Zhao Rui examined the old man, the dragon's mouth speaking. I have long heard of Elder Feng's remarkable Taoist techniques. I shall witness them today. Roar. He let out a roar, 9 claws wielding a long blade, sweeping forward. 6 nascent souls plunged into chaotic battle at the forefront of the 2 armies. Within the Demon Path army, on the deck of the 9 Nether Candle Dragon ship, Sui Li Young Master secretly issued instructions to several Golden Core Demon Path individuals. Subsequently, numerous Golden Core cultivators dispersed, landing on various warships at the back. Buzz! A chorus of humming emanated from the warships, which then began moving in all directions, adopting an encircling stance, closing in on the nascent soul cultivators in battle. The chains at the bottom crazily absorbed the evil chi underground, responding associatively, connecting into array patterns, enveloping the entire battlefield. Dense black fog surged from the array flags on the warships, soon inundating the entire sky and earth. This is bad. Master Xuanqing furrowed his brow. These mists can erode meridians, extremely disadvantageous to Taoist Feng and the others. A way must be found to break the formation. Everyone, cast your spells. At the command, each sect disciple unleashed various long-range spells, bombarding the warships forming the array ahead relentlessly. The soldiers of Great Han, also under the blessing of national fortune, deployed the Heavenly Book Array, mobilizing crossbows, catapults, and other large devices, aiding to disrupt the formation's activation. At the battlefield's core, 3 righteous nascent souls were fiercely battling demon path cultivators in the heat of battle. In Xiao Paksu's hands, the Xian Guang golden cloud sword erupted with dazzling gold radiance piercing through the dark clouds, vast golden light materializing, transforming into thousands upon thousands of light swords, suspended behind him, raining down like a storm upon Elder Sui Li ahead. Elder Sui Li continuously wielded the dragon entwining soul-shattering axe, as if grasping a jiao long in hand, smashing wave after wave of sword chi. But the opponent's golden light sword chi seemed endless. Even when shattered, it reformed instantly, seeming infinite. Xiao Paksu once again formed a seal with his hands, merging 10,000 swords into one. They transformed into a giant sword 100 zhang high, descending from the sky. As it fell, it tore the clouds, twisted the void, and the radiant glow illuminated the entire sky in blinding gold. Ah! Sui Lian let out a fierce shout, the dragon entwining soul-shattering axe equally enlarged, transforming into the heaven-opening giant axe. It broke through layers of golden light, clashing with the giant's sword. After a thunderous roar, the two cultivators each retreated several hundred zhang before slowly stabilizing themselves. As the sea of clouds dispersed, Sui Lian grinned and said, "Old Shao, is this all you've got? Now it's my turn." As his words fell, his pupils erupted with molten fire, and the demon pattern on his forehead wriggled like a living thing. His spine burst with the roar of erupting magma, and under the powerful fluctuation of demonic qi, the space visibly distorted. His body rapidly swelled in the spatial wrinkles, dark red crystal clusters gushed from his cracked skin, and his joints sprouted molten iron-spiked blade bones, transforming in an instant into a 1,000-zhang-tall molten rock giant demon. A true, towering demon statue appeared before all eyes. He stepped forward, immediately triggering an earthquake for 1,000 li around, crushing several mountain peaks underfoot and leaving a lake of lava. He raised his hand lightly, and the gang wind he brought up tore the sea of clouds into a ring-shaped vacuum belt. The fourth realm of martial arts, Fatian Xiangdi. Witnessing this scene, not only were thousands of cultivators stunned, but even Chun Sansi couldn't help but take notice. Is this Fatian Xiangdi? It was also his first time seeing a fourth realm martial arts practitioner. This sense of enormity was something that the words in the records could not clearly convey. Moreover, despite the gigantic size, his movements did not become clumsy at all. Dong! No one clearly saw Sui Lian. They only heard a loud boom, and by the time they reacted, the giant statue had already appeared 1,000 zhang away. The dragon entwining soul-shattering axe had also grown to the size of a mountain. As it moved, a storm arose from thin air. In contrast, Xiao Paxu seemed as insignificant as an ant. He formed a seal with his hands, crushed a talisman, and 10,000 strands of golden light intertwined, forming a gigantic golden rock, spreading its wings to protect him. The giant axe, like a falling meteor, smashed down upon it. The golden rock instantly shattered into pieces, and Xiao Paxu, hidden behind, was flung away, crashing through a mountain peak. Sui Lian gave him no chance to land, already close behind in pursuit. With each step, the sky seemed to crumble and the earth to quake, ruthlessly throwing the soul-shattering axe, precisely targeting the ant in front of it, about to crush it completely. Xiao Paxu formed a lotus seal with his hands, once again merging the myriad flying swords into one, muttering incantations. He transformed into a stream of golden light, merging into the flying sword, causing it to once again swell, from 100 zhang to 1,000 zhang, matching the size of the ancient demon in Fatian Xiangdi state. Man and sword as one. The giant sword swept out, striking the blade of the giant axe, and the sparks stirred up formed a splendid sea of fire in the air. After a moment of stalemate, the golden sky giant sword shakily retreated. But in this man and sword as one state, it barely managed to wrestle with Fatian Xiangdi. Elsewhere, other righteous nascent soul cultivators also found their battle situations unfavorable. Feng Qingyan continuously wielded his brush, painting rune after rune, bombarding the corpse dragon ahead as if launching a barrage of artillery shells, but to no avail in causing substantial damage. As for Shangguan Yunji, he initially used the Xuanpa Ice Heart Qin to suppress Chu San Yuan, until this old woman unleashed her 10,000 infant mourning stick. Strands of black qi spewed from the hollows atop the staff, turning into numerous twisted, grim infant faces, covering the sky and ground. These refined infant resentful spirits surrounded Shangguan Yunji, all letting out piercing shrieks. The screeches tore through eardrums, disrupting the melody of the Xuanpa Ice Heart Qin, and directly threatened her divine sense. In desperation, all-consuming black fog converged, trapping the three righteous nascent souls within. It was the formation of the Demon Path battleship, now unstoppable. The black fog nearly materialized, thick like a muddy bog, seemingly hiding countless tiny venomous insects, desperately biting the cultivators. intending to invade their bodies through their pores. Damn! Shangguan Yunji had to split her divine sense to resist the black fog, leading to greater disadvantage against the old woman. Xiao Paxu and Feng Qingyan were in similar predicaments. Generally, demon path and demon clan cultivators of the same realm are slightly stronger than righteous cultivators. This small gap can usually be compensated for with spiritual treasures or magic, but inside the demon path's formation, it becomes exponentially magnified. The three nascent soul cultivators completely fell to the disadvantage. We can't continue like this. Chun Sanxi's expression was grim. The surging demon path forces caused the righteous cultivators to be somewhat timid. If the nascent souls suffered casualties, morale would collapse completely, potentially causing widespread internal chaos. He said solemnly, "We must find a way to destroy their formation." The Golden Core cultivator Ting Sonka, who had a deep understanding of formations, squinted and said, "This formation is impossible to break from the outside. If a large number of us rush in, we're likely to be trapped as well."